स्वागत है प्रजा राजा के दरबार में, स्वागत है आपका। आदाब, अर्ज है चांद छुपता है, चांद छुपता है, फिर भी सबके सामने झुकता है। गुड आफ्टरनून। हमारा चांद भी छुपता है सबको। चांद इधर आओ, स्ट्रीम पे आओ, नंगे। गाइस वेलकम बैक टू द स्ट्रीम। आज हम करेंगे वॉच पार्टी। रात के कितने 2:30 बज रहे। मेरी गांडोगिरी बंद हो रही। रात को 2:30 बजे अपन, क्या है रे भाई ये सब, रात के 2:30 बजे अपन गांडोगिरी कर रहे स्ट्रीम। देखो मेरी चश्मे, देखो मेरे आँखान, देखो मेरे नींद आ रही, फिर भी वॉच पार्टी कर रहा हूँ मैं तुम लोगों के लिए, क्योंकि तुम लोगों को कोई चाहिए टाइम पास करने के लिए। मैं गंडवा बैठा भयंकरा, मैं खाली फुर्सत में बैठा लौंडा हूँ मैं। कब बोलो तब तुम ना बुलाओ, मैं आ जाता हूँ। है कि नहीं? चलो कोई ना, आ गया। आज भी लौड़े को कुछ काम ना नहीं है, सोचेंगे तुम ना। वॉच पार्टी स्टार्ट करेंगे। बोलो, मैच शुरू हो गया होगा मेरे ख्याल से। आज जेकन मारता भाई, आज गोट वर्सेस गोट है रे, है? आसपास वर्सेस जेकन, मजा आएगा रे। और एक बात, मेरी कूलर हो चुकी है ख़राब। मेरी पीसी जब बोलो तब बंद हो जा रही। 10 बार बंद होती, 10 बार रिस्ट्रीम कर दो। तुम देखो 10 बार रिस्ट्रीम कर दो, 10 बार आते हो वापस पलट के चूते जैसा, ठीक है? तुम ना गालियाँ नको दो मेरे को। और बाद में जो भी स्ट्रीम देखता फ्यूचर में, मैं माल तुम ना देखते फ्यूचर में बहुत बड़ा स्टार हो तुम लोग, मानो नहीं मानना भाई। आँखों में देख के बोलो तुम लोग, देखो तुम बोल के हो जा तू रे, क्यों को डर रहे तुम ना? ला 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 ला। नीरज balls packed, his balls packed bro, don't get hurt bro, इतना गरम मत हो रे बाबा। स्टार्ट कर भाई। तुम लोग गाली मत दो बस मेरे को। ये हो गया, बंदूक के चले गया माल। तुम ना गालियां दो, पहले प्रॉमिस दो मेरे को। तुम ना माँ कसम खाओ पहले, तुम ना टैंक मोड की कसम खाओ। इतना लैग कहीं को हो रहा है रे भाई।
As well. Yeah, for me, Bang defensively is the god of off angles. Like this guy gets himself in good positions so consistently and will surprise you in the spots that he's playing. Change it up once he conditions you against those common spots as well. It is really nice to watch him work at sight, not just in one round, but over the course of an entire half.
Now, what you guys say X factor for sure to pay attention to in this game here, Bang. I feel like always is kind of like a obvious answer, but I do feel like Bang in this matchup in particular could really cause a problem. That might be our.
Yeah, as long as he keeps.
Hola. लागोला की आँख। चलो देखेंगे क्या है मसला। अम्मो दो एयरपोर्ट आ, एयरपोर्ट ये बेगमपेट एयरपोर्ट और शमशाबाद एयरपोर्ट बीच में बंजारा हिल्स है। देखो प्रेडिक्शन आ दे रहे थे।
Yes, I am. All right.
अपन खाली सेंटिनेल्स का करते थे कि चेटी लाल बन गया है।
Absolutely not.
सेंटिनेल्स।
I don't think
तुम दोनों के बीच में शबरी हरी है, MBI को दी है। तुम दोनों की
They're playing hot. I can see the logic.
स्टार्ट किया जाए प्रजा।
Sen Vs Mibr on this
Praja.
position during kickoff. They're playing again now. A lot has changed from Mibr. What has sold you on this Sen team that you're confident they'll win today?
Just everything that
Praja, start किया जाए यार।
To kick off to now, all the hard conversations that they would have had leading forward. I just think the one of my favorite storylines to watch today.
Wow.
जल्दी स्टार्ट कर देगा।
What I think is interesting though is you can also say the same thing about MIBR on the
Please,
other side,
please,
right? A team
आज
that's really
एक
gone
दिन
through a bit of a journey,
मैं
rediscovering
तेरा लड़ने
themselves,
चुस्तू
needing to find like who those players are going to be that slot
तेरी
in,
बुल्ली
who
चुस्तू
fits
है।
that. So I think it's interesting.
प्लीज
I
एक दिन,
think they've added Veno. They have not that big loss yet. I
एक
think they
दिन
need to have
हम
the big
नको,
loss.
प्लीज मैं
Maybe
कल
this
फैन
is
ला
it.
लेता,
And then
प्लीज।
they put this wouldn't be a big loss because they still made Toronto, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think they need that big loss, and Sentinels have already had that.
Damn, yeah, and it's a good point, right? Because, you know, MIBR, or really, I always like to call it like the new car smell. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you buy a new car, it always smells good. And after a little while, you sit in it too many times, starts to fade, the newness starts to fade away.
जल्दी स्टार्ट करो बड़े भाई तुम लोग ऐसा टाइम पास आन कर रहे हैं इधर प्रोडक्शन में हमारे पट्टे को रोक के रखा
Do we subscribe to this that MIBR yet to face that hardship? Sentinels will be the ones to deliver that here today.
That's just true, and Sen has already proved how good they were. They
Guys,
beat
best of
G2.
3
I also think
last
something you
master
were talking
डाल
about,
दिखा
the map pool could be pretty good for Sen. They share a lot of similar maps. If we get in the pool, I think that's looking good. I honestly even think they have a chance on split against MIBR.
I think they definitely will split.
Yeah.
Definitely. They have to ban Xbox though. Sentinels have to ban Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been so good for MIBR thus far with that Harbor Viper.
he's बाहर आन दो
So 4 teams are going to be fighting to make it to Sunday's grand final. You got MIBR and Sentinels, Evil Geniuses going up against G2. Day 5 of the VCT Americas playoffs starts right now.
पीसी गर्म हो गई मेरी कूलर खराब हो गया आज क्या पट्टे देखो भी
That's going to be where everybody's gonna be like, damn, I saw that clip on Twitter, I saw that clip on YouTube, I saw that on VCT, and I mean, I'm always good for it. I think winning Americas is one of the steps that you need in order to
थोड़ी ठंडी हो गई थोड़ी ठंडी हो गई आइस डाल दो इसके अंदर सेट
You're forced to be reckoned with.
भाई तुम नको सेकंड को लो चुपचाप
What's up, baby? I won 2 times already, but
आसपास
there is something special about winning with them. They are
आसपास
new
खाऊंगा
players.
आसपास कितनी गर्मी है हैदराबाद में कहीं तो गर्मी है रे पहली बार बारिश गिर रही है अभी तक
If you want to be the best
तिरछे
team in
गर्मी हो
Americas, teams like Sen, we definitely show the best versions of
गई
ourselves.
रात के
in the highest
2:30
pressure
बजे गर्मी
moments.
क्या है वहाँ क्या सेल्सियस भाई ना माने
How you played that day doesn't matter anything else before.
चुप बैठो बड़े भाई तुम कहीं की बोलते जा रहे हो हाँ जाएंगे वो
What we're capable of as a team.
ये भैया नहीं मालूम है कुछ
Each match that we get, we gain like more and more confidence to play like how we normally play.
When people think about VCT Americas, some people they think about
आसपास
it just makes me want to be better at the game.
आसपास भी आप ऐसे सोते
Not being stuck
अगर
with
के
the same place.
आसपास गोट है ब्रो
Where everyone's watching.
टेंस आसपास
Make a cool play or do something huge.
The
for your
goat,
team.
brother, goat.
Definitely a huge opportunity to be remembered and being great. I want to be remembered as like someone who did some great things. I think it would be nice to be.
इसी
prove
प्लीज
myself.
बंदा को आज
There has to be a superstar. There has to be an X factor in the team, willing to make those big plays or make sure the team's on point, or the X factor that's willing to just call what needs to be said.
सर्रा
That'll show
हवा
you
मार
why
तो
we're
खुश हो
winning
जाएगी
champions.
ठंडी हो गई झट झट हवा मारते रहना
Just by
इसी
having my presence there in the team.
मैं
during
छोटा
the
फैन
game,
ला ले
I
तू
know that my
उसके
teammates
इधर
there
लगा
are
है उसके बाजू में क्या बोलते तुम ना
something is going wrong, they can have
मैं वो
the
चैंपियंस
backup
फैंटम
they
दो
have.
ना गिफ्ट को
It's
तो
okay,
प्लीज
it's there. I have Aspas on my team.
Zekken by OP Zekken by OP मैं स्टार्ट करूँ
Riot Games Arena, it's time for our first match of the day. E eles já têm a vaga, mas agora queremos o título. Faz barulho pro MIBR!
arigato
And MIBR has something that no one else has. They got an Aspas. You heard that video. Them
Aspas.
talking
Aspas
about
का है
what
भाई?
that guy brings to the table. But really, Mimi, the sum of all of their parts
आसपास
here
में
makes
कार्गो
this a
पैंट
scary
पहनते
squad.
वाली
This was America's
हाँ, नंबर भेजो।
last
दूसरी
worst
भेज तो
team
तुम
in
आओ।
2024. They signed Valorant's best player. They had
Beach,
a meteoric
black and
turnaround.
car.
Top 3 in kickoff, and
Mera
now a
wo
chance
trademark.
for the best finish for the organization. Their first grand
No,
finals
green
in the
card,
partnership
yeah,
era.
And they're also doing it
Sit
signing
still.
3 players that hadn't played on the VCT stage before either. It's really a combination of the old, tried and true, and the new.
कर लो.
That's clicked perfectly.
Yeah, that's
कितना भी
right.
करो
We are
सेंटिनल
truly
से हारने का ये प्लान कर लो प्लान कर लो
And now, let's bring out their opponents for this matchup. Make some noise for Sentinels!
All right, and the Sentinels, obviously the fan favorite coming into this one, Amy, but, I think it's safe to say, like, no matter how it shakes out, this is going to be a tough battle, and Sentinels know that coming into this.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough battle. They need Zekken in prime form to deal with Aspas, I think. Everyone pumping up. Pumping up is the biggest thing for them.
Yeah.
And Sentinels, they
Please welcome the X Factor Impact player of Sentinels, Nephop. He's 140 pounds. He's heavy. He's handsome. He's cute. NephopAnshu.
This guy is red in the face. He's angry. He wants to win, Mimi.
I'm not. The dog eats the cube. I will not lie.
The dog does eat the cube. At the very least, it turns into a true toy.
मारेंगे उसके मारेंगे पहले मैं बोल रहा हूँ आसपास जिधर ऑपरेटर लगा था उसके ऑपोजिट जाओ ठीक है समझ गए पट्टे लोग चलो चैंपियंस आसपास जिधर आप लगाया उसके ऑपोजिट चटैक इजी विन समझ गए ना आसपास को छोड़ो सबला नूब है उसकी टीम में दूसरे ठीक है Let's go.
And then it'll be a 2-0. If not, 2-1.
What have you thought about MIBR's Neon comp on this map? They've changed to it, won twice since pulling that off. Is it going to be tough for Sen to play into?
It will be if they don't play the Vice, I think. If they go no Sentinel, I think they're going to have trouble.
Yeah, because Sen had previously been playing the double smokes with a Viper in the mix, and you're asking for the Viper to turn into a Vice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously really looking to shut down that explosive potential that you could potentially be seeing on the opposite side of the field there. We'll see, of course, what we end up getting as far as agents go. I am curious if anyone's going to try and throw
Third map
something
तक नक्को लेके
different to try
जाओ
and throw someone off the scent.
शेरों
The first map would be the
Second
chance
map
to
में
do
खत्म
that.
कर दो मैं
Reminder
slide
of the
लूँगा
stakes here. You win this map, you're the first team into the grand finals. You get to play with a
हाँ
fan
शुरू हो गया भैया
advantage
तुम
and have a hell of a
आसपास भैया तुम
chance to
शो
win
कर रहे
America's
हो
title heading into a Masters here in North America.
One step closer to
कुछ
winning
भी करो
the
आसपास
trophy. A
भाई
big thing
अपने
for all
पट्टे
these
जीतते
players
आज
here now. Agents are going to be coming up in a moment. We'll see what we end up getting out of
या
this.
शॉक
one.
मारता
I am really
वो
curious.
हवा
There's
नहीं
so many
आता
directions we could end up seeing.
Yeah, and we've got some time as the agents slowly roll out. Honestly, Sentinels, we haven't seen them play this
आसपास
map in
neon
almost
क्या
a
लगा
month.
रे
Last
वाला
time they played it was up against Loud. That was a map they lost 13-11, where, again, we were talking about the Viper coming in for them. Zelsis was on that, so he's the guy to
तुम लोगों को
wait and
चश्मे
see
नहीं आते
what
रे
he eventually goes for.
पूरा दिन खेलते थे चश्मे नहीं आते रे तुम लोगों को
Until we get there.
Yeah, he's got a long time.
narrate bang 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 Zekken Zekken
patch without a doubt, but curious to see how that plays out in the future.
भाई वो वाली टीम में
Yeah,
मस्त
on
थी
the
रे
rise, and we'll
सासी
see how that
सासी
one
था
plays
ना
out, but for now,
Back behind the
सासी
barn.
टन्स
Finds Tejo.
Zekken
Tejo and
bang
Yeller
bang नहीं था
behind the bar.
Celsius John Cutie
Today, or after rather this event. But of course, we'll see what continues to get locked down here.
ऐसे ऐसे
But
मत
yeah,
करो
I
रे
mean, you know,
balls
and I
ऐसे
think
करो
what
balls
would be the thing, I mean, for you
ऐसे
if
करो
you see it like,
balls
I don't know,
अच्छे
Sentinels
ऐसे
might not
ये
be the
लड़के
plan.
लोग
You
के लिए
mentioned not
balls
having a
अपने
device,
boys
anything
के क्या बोलते public
I don't
balls
see the Viper because I think Neon really tears apart the No Sentinel.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping they change.
John Cutie as usual
Lock into the Neon
Breach.
on Zekken again, because MIBR is also
I knew,
playing
bro.
a no Senti comp.
He might,
I knew
he might
it.
go Yoru. Ooh.
Good either way.
ओए डबल इनिशिएटर खेल रहे
I
लोग
would
Or
rather-
if it is a no Senti comp still from IBR, which it is looking like.
ट्रिपल
early
भी
days.
खेलो कुछ
I
भी
would
नहीं
rather
होता
see the Neon on Zekken,
ये
but
ना क्या ओमन
there's a world he goes.
बांग
I mean, I think if you're looking for like
Bang.
opening round fights, the Neon is clearing the ore in terms of that, in terms of actually like
Brother,
execing onto the
brother,
side on the
brother.
attacking side. But if you want to play that slow style game, that
Let's
you're
go.
Super effective. At,
Just depends on what they
pivoting
wanna-
into traps, et cetera.
Bison bundle
Right? Like, do they want to meet that speed for speed, or do they want to
सामने
play a
कौन लिया
little bit more of a
जैगेमो
control game?
ये
Right? That's what
जैगेमो
it
लोगों की
sounds
टीम में
like to
नहीं
me. Like the difference is
My
that
bad,
they have
sorry.
as far as the
आसपास
options goes.
कॉर्ती है डाड़ो
We've got the big pick we're waiting for coming
कौन
up
है?
next. Moment of truth. What
पूरे
Zelsis is
नूबड़े
going
लोग
to be
हैं।
rocking here. So far it's been boring. It's everyone's playing the agents. that we're
आसपास छोड़
expecting
के
them
सबला
to,
नूब्स
but This next one will not be the thing you want to see.
Ooh, okay. So share your thoughts. Share your thoughts in me. You see the Viper.
I think Aspas will just get to run it down whenever he wants. I think Sentinels will have to lean on their retakes a lot because
Yeah.
if they want a site, they're going to take it. And I know on the defense side, Zelsis will play top A a lot on his own, which I don't really like. So if they continue to do that, I do think MIBR are favored here.
Yeah, how are we feeling, guys? Do you think same thing here as far as Viper goes, or seeing that Viper rather pop up here?
Yeah, it is interesting because it is a straight-up mirror match here between the two double controller, no senti, neon compositions on both of our teams, which means I think a lot of this game is going to come down to, oh, it's not a mirror, he is pivoting with that Yoru, okay.
Good call.
But similar idea where it's going to come down to a lot of like C retake ideas in these late rounds that are going to have to be really drilled, especially
Are you sure? I mean, this is just the G2 ripoff comp going for the Yoru, right? Which slows down your tempo a lot in sort of like the early round ideas, but it gives you a strong buffer if you want to take it forward.
Where are the pitfalls with this composition?
I mean, the pitfalls come when you're trying to actually win opening fights. I think the neon stun and like the mobility of the slide is like just very powerful. But also when it comes to execing into the side, I think neon sort of clears on that on the attack.
बस हो गया तो क्या होता है स्ट्रीम में तुम लोग कुछ करते क्या कोई देख रहा
है I think MIBR is going to be able to take that early space as much as they want with this comp.
Yeah, I think that's why they've gone to the Yoru. I think they're going to let them take the space and they're going to take the fast play. Yeah, I think they want to slow the game right now.
Yeah, the way G2 usually plays that is like, you know, you'll step forward to take maybe an early fight just
एक like मार के आना रे please एक like
and just like keep moving.
Bings भाई भी है भाई competition में watch party watch party Bings भाई भी करते हैं.
All right, well, let's see how this all shakes out, folks. It's now time to start
1000K watching
match of the day, and let's send it over to your casters for this one. You got two of the best on the mic. It's Uber and Wyatt.
एक like
and just like
thank you very much.
Bings भाई भी है भाई competition में watch party.
This one is bound to be a banger. Aspas has taken historically the worst team in Brazil.
Start करो रे.
Worst team in Americas and now turned them into a true contender.
Start करो.
Best finish already on the docket, an undefeated run in maps through playoffs so far, and they're going up against the team that just handed G2 their first loss of the season.
The team that looked unbeatable, they were able to stop. The only team that could stop.
क्या हुआ start
Time for Samsung match start, folks. Load up fast with Samsung SSDs. It'll be Sentinels starting on the attack side. Both teams without Sentinels in their compositions, and this is the third different Sen comp in 3 outings on Lotus that we've seen.
And so far, the 2 prior outings in Stage 2 have been back-to-back losses. So perhaps this switch over to the Yoru, which Zekken has been playing constantly in 2025, could be a recipe for improvement to try and steal away MIBR's map pick.
We are grouped here for a bit of a pop in towards B main.
Ready है ऐसा.
Toggling at the door. It's actually pulling the B defenders away somewhat. And there's a gate crash there ready for an overload onto the middle of the map, but that expires. Sen has other ideas.
Just going to wander all the way into tree. Doesn't actually have a gate crash to get out. All of the utility expended from MIBR, who are inclined to re-clear or fight towards rubble.
हौला बनाया तुम लोगों को, हौला बनाया तुम लोगों को, हौले बनाए.
But mill around tree for the time being, and so MIBR going to check rubble, trying to clear this. They know there's a player in the vicinity, but they don't know
आसपास को मारना पड़ता है मियां.
a gate crash or not. Now they're
pathetic हो जाता
it's part
pathetic.
towards the B side, and Zelsis is ready to take contact. Paranoia actually ended up hitting onto the drone, and Zelsis emerges. First blood struck for Sentinels. Inferno knows something's afoot here over in that corner. Some action here. Shenom had to afflict that. He was not ready on the line. John pops up for 1 here on this B side of the map now. Still 3 up for MIBR. Make it 2. It's up to the bromance here. Aspas and Verno to get themselves out of this, but they're both very low. Less than 50 points of health combined. They're going to go for it off a timing. Bang is ready for the no. No clock free for the pistol.
I love the way that Sentinels played around the rubble with multiple players using Zelsis wall in Zelsis to actually reposition towards the site.
Iron Lobby में भी मार देते
Put all of those MIBR players that had prior ran through Baby Door into rubble in the mid-round.
Bang बचा लिया, Bang ही जैसे
they had to retake back into B, right? Positional play overall.
Bang बचा लेता तुम लोग हमेशा.
Bang already starting.
क्या करूँ मैं इसका? बोल भी तो नहीं सकता.
Actually, the highest rated average ACS player of anyone on Sentinels in the playoffs so far. It's really been showing out.
Last time these two teams played, it was in the lower bracket final where Sentinels knocked MIBR out of contention for Bangkok, and where Zelsis was that match MVP with an unbelievable performance, one we've rarely ever seen from him.
कर लो push कर लो.
Out to be, it's a slow drift
बुल्ले में ला देते रहो इन्हें एक मार के सीधा सीटी पे मारता स्टैक बोल के
happy to absorb any aggression that could come from MIBR if they opt to push into spawn. Can try and just get that one and instantly teleport to the rest of the squad and see together as a unit.
Zekan by TP.
Jones inching forward now.
अरे ना कूदो तो भी साउंड नहीं आता क्या रे Zekan by को क्या सोच रहे तुम ला Zekan by read you like a Harry Potter
Trying to draw everything he can out of this part of the map. He's got Tezia.
ठीक है Zekan
Hold on, that confused me as well. Actually, I mean, he took the bullet for him out of nowhere.
Proper decked down Mr. President vibes over there.
like
I don't know if he's so confused.
तुम कब आए मैं तो पहले आया था
He doesn't get out with the bulldog. He doesn't get out with the bulldog. He ends up walking away with the stinger. He doesn't exchange. So Verno's been able to snap that up. And outside of that, there's really not much to be done here for MIBR. Aspas and Verno, once again, the last two alive. And Aspas has a little bit of history with Sen on this very map.
I mean, yeah, last year was when Aspas
I feel you, Zelsius, bhai.
47.
मेरे साथ भी ऐसी लौड़े लगते कोई ना
playing Lotus, one of the craziest individual maps of all time. Bruno had an opportunity to maybe get some damage done with that recovered bulldog, but Zekan on the angle, easy spray down. Collects the third, getting close to the dimensional drift. That is always a pivotal aspect.
Zelsius भाई का replay बताओ रे please replay
Team
बताओ
has Yoru.
Please
We've
replay
seen
बताओ
throughout all of 2025 how valuable that
please
ultimate
replay
is.
बताओ
Zarzine playing pretty
Mare.
close.
मारे
Yeah, somehow it's... Yeah, I guess
अरे
yeah,
दिखाओ
Zarzine
ना
swung out for a
दिखाओ
trade and ends up being the one to get eaten up there.
हाँ Zelsius भाई
It's also why
तुम्हारे
Zekan
बबले
is just so enthusiastic to
बबले
continue taking fights.
और जान दो मेरे बबले
Get a
दबा
couple
लो
kills,
बुरा ना
get
को
that
मानो
ult
तुम
as early as possible.
बुल्ले मिल गए तुम
It's just a Viper lurking that A side, but the fact that Yoru can join up and actually add an extra player worth of threat to that otherwise weak side of the map has been confusing MIBR a bit. Into the rifle.
Multiple players from MIBR ready to fight towards A if necessary. It's just going to be bang teleporting across. Cortezia. Intuition.
5-0.
Spray.
1v2 see the squad rush
and there's no more resistance left
Center
at
push
A
कर
for
दिए
MIBR.
भाई
They
लोग
get rifles in their hands and instantly have two of them stripped.
This round is as good as done. Those are upgraded rifles recovered
Squad
as
rush
well
push
by
कर दिए
Sentinels. It's just done.
Save
Time to
करते हैं
save
लोग
for
और क्या
MIBR. Bonus
क्या
round
guys save करते
won
ना मेरे को
immediately
तो save दिखा
just by bang all alone.
अगर 3v5 निकाल ले
Such a
मान
star for
जाता हूँ
Sentinels.
MIBR आज से मेरी favorite team
And it looks like MIBR had an idea with the sort of guidance cell where they set
Left
over
में,
the
right
walls
में,
at
right
the
में,
side
right
that
में.
That wouldn't be as far forward as he was.
noob
That's
noob
another rifle down.
Verno भाई
Oh, Verno, yeah, he's
Verno
just
भाई noob
caught
up
in an awkward transitional moment where he's hoping, you know, seconds
आज भी मैं
prior to
carry
that
करूँ
fight
चुपचाप
with second, oh, maybe someone will
अभी आसपास आप
overextend and I
निकालते
can
next
find a
round
kill.
का वही है
But is punished for it when he's trying to exit. 2 rifles to be saved from MIBR. That's it. And another upgrade for one of the players with a bulldog is just sitting there on the ground.
स्किन चाहिए अभी भी Zelsius भाई
What a dream
Zekan भाई
bonus round here for Sentinels. 3-0 here in this attack side.
यहाँ भी गए
Another gun drop shed of oh no!
क्या सेव करे रे इससे अच्छा 3v5
Fully
ट्राई कर
upgraded
लेते
to 5 vandals, not one player long. Look at the money, man. But it also starts with this from Bang. I mean, standard teleport across in the salvo, but that flash from John fully connects onto Cortezia. He couldn't see a damn
what a
thing,
round
and
bang
then
bhai
just pure intuition spam collects on the Osboss, sure.
And this MIBR team have loved fighting in rubble at the start of
What
rounds.
a round
Attack side
bang,
defense
bhai.
side, it doesn't matter. They've done it to
Bang,
every team they've gone up
bang.
against in the past. Crew, especially in that
Bang,
recent
bang.
close matchup.
ये
Man,
आसपास के आदमी
they had
नहीं
better
है
do it a little better than that though. Going forward, just some sheriffs here. Aspas
Thum
with a
de.
rifle in hand.
और क्या करता
Only half armor.
All of MIBR were stacked up towards A, but they didn't actually use their utility early. They were waiting for a sound cue to let all of that rip. So now they just have the stealth drone pushing through as we watch Sen on the opposite side of the map.
Kone
with
re
all of this
badtameez
C
dorang
control.
kar raha.
But the info that MIBR are getting should allow them to make a rotation towards
Zao.
the C site, try and
Oppa.
help Shen if it intends on anchoring.
Cortezia just smoked cross map to try and slow Sentinels down, but now they're going to start to make this push towards C, and MIBR are not convinced that Sen are going to end on this site. But we can see it. We know better. They are pretty darn deep. Aspas probably saw the clone cross here, but knew that it was a fake.
It's the one-man
Relax,
hero
relax,
rifle
relax.
for MIBR. Zekin
ना किसको मार दिया
finds the
Zekan
first
ने मार
on to Frono, and with all of these
Wall bang
smokes
में मारा
obscuring his
इनको
view, Osboss just cannot even find a moment to have impact on the round.
Chante
There's a rifle.
Dropped, needs to be recovered. Looks like Shannon was able to get in amidst the cover of the poison orb, at least get that rifle in hand. He's going to have to make good use of those.
Zekken is. I trust you, brother.
Trying to get his way up the slope. Shannon does finally employ that rifle.
I trust you, brother.
One up as well, so decent enough. Zekken into the ace. So unreal.
Zekken by OP. मैं बोला Zekken by ace but ace. Zekken by ace मेरे बोलने पे मिलते. Zekken very good. Zekken by से कांटेक्ट हो रही है इससे डिस्कॉर्ड में मैं बैठा हूँ इधर पर दूसरे पीसी में Zekken by ace.
Oh my god, I'm
It's a bit early for that, don't you think?
Let's go Sentinels.
I would say, listen, I'm no mathematics expert. When you get 5 kills, you're probably going to have the dimensional drift ready on round 5. So
I respect you, but what is this
thing
kind of behavior, mate? What? Again, you sleeping, mate? What kind of gameplay is this? I thought you would be fucking around today. इसको भी चुद दे, इसको भी चुद दे, इसको भी चुद दे, उसको भी चुद दे. पास भाई.
It was a beautiful
कोई ना, Sentinel है, बुरा ना.
The Bang was able to capitalize on the find 2 kills.
हवा दे ले तुम मेरे पीछे.
MIBR have not had an opportunity to be sentient in the server yet.
Swing zara, 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 swing
Sense
zara,
that
swing
MIBR
zara,
packing
swing
in some
zara,
pretty important games in the past, and they've always had a tendency this year at least at the right time.
In 2 seconds, when we get out of the timeout overlay here, we're watching the play. Look at the second economy, man, when we get into this. It's outrageous.
Neeraj.
Round 5.
Neeraj, brother.
Meanwhile, Aspas is on a glass cannon off. That's how dire it's gotten, but that's the play call here from Front.
They have put MIBR in a horrific position, and we've just started this game. Sen are never going to be seeing an eco round, man. MIBR are going to have a major uphill battle.
Gate crash set up so Zekken can rejoin the rest of the team over towards the mound side of the map. Here comes the util, and he chopped down effortlessly. And now, Zekken can just watch the flank here.
That is some John Cutie cinema if I've ever seen it.
This
is exactly, it feels how the other round for MIBR started. We're 5 seconds in, they've lost 2 players. All right, time to save. And they've got enough money to go hunt. So MIBR need to be very careful.
That glass cannon absolutely pointless in this retake. So yeah, 3-gun save, no surprise. Narrate is going hunting. Aspas and Inferno are just ahead. Enough of him, but Cortesi is able to dig Celsius out here over on this B side. Keeping a lid on this burgeoning economy of the Sentinels, but what MIBR really need now is to get on the board properly. Oh, that's the op dropped.
What a shot, mate.
To recover this.
He's not.
Damn good, mate.
That was a massive investment. Ripped away. What a peek from Narrate, the little jiggle into the crouch. That's so sick. Insta-tap.
Zekken is at 11-1 at the moment.
They are being suffocated.
Look at this fault line. Oh my god. Both affected by it?
These guys aren't playing
well.
This is a mental start from Sen.
Out kick towards the seaside. Now Sentinel survives for the other extremity on the map. An early fight here towards Rubble might be the order of the day. And a gate crash out from Zekken. Gets a little hot in there.
And that's why you send the Yoru forward there. You can get all of that information by absorbing the utility and immediately you snap your fingers, you're out of there, and the team is regrouped intending on going into C where it's only Shannon to contest. This lack of Sentinel from MIBR just make it pretty easy for Sen to get into these sites. Lovely shot from Aspas. This is a moment where MIBR can now actually play for a 5-on-4 retake, try and get their first round win.
Death ball set up now when Sentinels are on a timer. They get to plant. Pretty slow about it too, because they are expecting this push from behind. Gun in Aspas's hands, not quite enough to get the job done now. John, affected by the paranoia, still wants to try and take an engagement. Narrate flanks him, but Cortesi and Verno do get some results here towards Mount. Surely, the pitch comes in from Halls. It's just Zekken as Narrate falls. has to go massive again, but my God, he's already done so today.
Zekken है कुछ भी हो सकता.
Up to 12 kills.
कुछ भी हो सकता.
Still no spike plant, and MIB are no better than to poke the sleeping giant.
This is the last player you want to take a against, so why not just spam him when he can't even see you? That's just about the only way you're going to get Zekken removed from the server at this point.
तब मैं तो सामने से आओ.
Credit to Cortez
पीछे से आ गए.
Followed up on Aspas and Artzin towards Mound, winning out all of those gun duels. Were really sharp in the aim there because that initial spacing here, when we saw Aspas go down, wasn't great. He was far ahead of the rest, outpaced the utility.
Let's go!
Man, you can always rely on that, man.
कौन सी है भाई एक जीत गए खुश हो
All the rookies leading the charge right now for MIBR. Cortez, Inferno, Shenham. At least 2 of those players.
ये भी almost pull off कर दिया था.
Candidates right now.
अपना पट्टा.
Youngblood leads by example. That gets MIBR on the board. They've done a good job at stacking up these very important attack side rounds.
पीक लेता.
Those Sentinel on their comp, so really want to get ahead.
उन्होंने मालूम कितना रीड कर रहे देखो बी पुश करता है कर रहा भी बी पुश कर रहा है.
The Sentinels will be able to get to any of their ultimates of significance. So
really
only looking at Inferno as someone who can turn the tide in that regard. Zekken is still 2 off now. John 3 off of his, so not going to be able to find impact in the server in that way. It's
क्या टाइम बाय कर रहे हैं ना.
clearing out a rubble.
आ गया कॉल.
Back into the space on the map. Second contains towards Mound and has the gate crash back and spawn to teleport
देख के
away.
देख के
Maybe I had no info. They've got to go get info at Mound, but Zekken more than he needed.
क्या मारा रे
Shenham is able to recover things there, but that's the lion's share of the heavy hitters from MIBR already downed. Now the remainders
क्या शॉट था वो.
get it together here on A as Sentinels hit the site with a player advantage.
भाई Zekken single-handedly carrying bro.
Trying to get in backside, wanting to be here, wanting to take the fight to them.
Shot.
He just can't. That jump peek was lovely.
Kotechi's looked fantastic this game. He needs to do more. Viper's Pit now deployed. Kotechi Paranoia in TP to the other side of it. It's beautiful.
Nice
what a play, but still only good for 1. Now it's on Shenham. Into the pit.
Let's go. By Zekken carrying brother. Zekken is single-handedly carrying.
An effective 1 versus 3 at Mount. His gate crash expires and
Zekken दुल्ले में ला दिया गम्मू गम्मू मार के.
Take the fight.
देखो इधर मार इसको मस्त मारा रे.
Be getting this second kill.
क्या मारा रे.
Oh, Aspas on the slide just has to make a correction. It costs him a valuable half second.
Zekken is at a casual 14-3 right now.
He's locked in. How long does it last? Or how long until MIBR can find a way to trip him up? Heading into round 8 here, Sentinels have been dominant.
प्रलय आने वाला है. प्रलय.
Time
out ली फिर से. MIBR क्या हुआ bro? Technical possible.
Coming online here for Sentinels. Tech pause it will be. Then MIBR. You talked about ultimates of significance. I'd say they've got
technical pause. बहाने बनाओ बहाने बनाओ.
They could use a tech pause. You need something.
जब से ऋषभ पंत भाई करे तब से ना सब ना मोमेंटम कर रहे. मोमेंटम तोड़ने के लिए कहते. अब इसमें तो नहीं रहता कुछ भी सब बांध नहीं गिनने का. इन्ना क्या करे टेक पॉज करते. किसी को कुछ हुआ गया. माउस इसका सही है. कीवर्ड सही है. सो रहा आसपास भाई. This is not a behavior of a goat. No. This is pathetic baba. Good for nothing. Good for nothing baba.
They stay behind. They add Verno to their roster, and so many people are wondering what the heck the plan is. Like, how are you going to integrate this guy? Apparently, just add water. Effortlessly. This MIBR team has not lost a single map in playoffs. They've always found ways to bounce back or frankly just clown on their opponents over those last 2 games that were not close at all. And here, they're up against a completely different beast entirely.
पूरा कूलर खराब होने की वजह से हुआ पूरा मसला.
Sen who have really been running the gauntlet. They started with Cloud9 who really had such a fantastic regular season. Dark Horse team.
नींद आ रही Zekken भाई.
Clean 2-0 there.
मेरे को नहीं आ रही नींद. भाई 3 बजे बैठा हूँ. तुम्हारी नींद आ रही?
The Americas team, the only Americas team that have been able to beat G2, who have just been the unstoppable force.
मैं भी जर्रा पानी पी गया तो guys. Am I allowed to go?
And you're watching this game so far, you can definitely see why Sen were able to do it. This is an unbelievable start.
Young Verno out of his seat at the moment. Returning to the stage momentarily. Remember this match here, it's crucial. we've seen in our best of
चिकना
5
चिकना
grand
क्या
finals
है?
match
बच्चों
stages,
जैसा
that
दिख
map
रहा है.
advantage means so much. Getting
Filter
an
लगाइए
extra
सा.
ban is going to be absolutely crucial. Both these teams, they're big fracture banners. That's actually kind of why we have an MIBR game that doesn't feature Icebox.
हाँ हाईलाइट मेरे को भी ये जॉब दे दो. क्या हुआ मसला उसका?
MIBR had to ban fracture.
What happened?
Take away the very best map. And even
Brother,
you
sleeping over there?
It's not what they've been looking for, but hey,
पानी
here's
पी
what
के.
Aspas had to say about facing off against this team once again. Last time, of course, was at kickoff. Let's hear the word.
I'm excited to play against Zekken. This is gonna be a rematch, so I'm even more excited because of this. Basically, I think that's the 4th time that I play Sentinels, so kind of remembers me of 22 that I played Optic like 6 times, a lot of times. I love rematches.
Can't blame the guy. The stakes were so high in that last matchup. I would almost say that, with both of these teams, in very good shape. Obviously, we're going to see them heading over to Masters. The top seed, though, heading into that event out of America is a huge boon. It lets you bypass so much of that grueling early stage of the tournament.
100%. The tournament is stacked as it's looking to be. There's a lot of early trap games.
Red Bull का खरीदा हुआ.
He's locked in.
Yeah, energized. He's juiced up.
Persistent coach.
He's also not getting crushed into a tiny sugar cube size, which is always a good sign.
Well, what does he think about Capital's strats?
Time pass, huh?
He seems sort
Time pass करने रखे क्या तुम्हारे उधर?
what the offering is on Lotus.
So you don't see off camera the person with the blunt object threatening Cubit into giving a favourable account.
As
of
the
his time over
co-founder?
the Sentinels. So
Co-friendly founder.
a gear issue here, also just being ironed out.
Eco-friendly
A couple of
founder.
converging occurrences are happening on stage at the same time there, folks. So we have a read check. We'll be jumping back into the game in just a moment.
मैं
If you're
हवा
just
मार
joining
रहा हूँ,
us,
गरम हवा
I mean,
को मार रहा मेरे.
I could probably just show you a clip of one round and it will give you the full idea of what has happened.
तुम्हारे को मसला दिखा हुआ है
Getting a
क्या?
lot
अभी
of
मसला
early
है इधर?
advantages on the map. They've been going crazy with the first kills. A lot of the time, Zekken. Let's see if he can run that back again.
Bear in mind as we get into this, Sen are 0-2 on Lotus right now in this stage, and questionable when you see the first 7 rounds of this map, how that's even possible. But that is the world that we're living in. MIBR into this one, however, got 2 rifles to play with.
Another dimensional drift here developed for second. Gets a decent bit of information about what's happening at Baby Door now. Drush doing a lot of scouting for his team. Oh, there was a TP into tree. Off the back of that, Bang got so far forward and Zekken flattens Cortesia.
आज कर्सर चेंज हुआ इसका Zekken का.
A second time we just see the dimensional drift into the fault line. Net 3 kills for Zekken. Bang off the flash.
Mang by OP.
The utility from John Cutie has just been superb.
Look at the extra spacing now created by that guided salvo. Gives Zekken the room to perch up in this pocket.
तुम लोग आसपास में क्या सोच रहे हैं? Zekken को सोच छू दिया Zekken. जो आता पुश करता उसमें.
The final boss will be waiting for them.
Just wants to make sure that they can't recover that phantom slide in from off.
Oh my God! Randall के साथ ऐसा एम पे साए रे.
And Bang supporting from the back line.
कैसा नहीं भाई मेरा कोई जरा 2% उसमें से 2% एम
They're
उसमें
working
से.
with pistols, right? Sheriffs to some degree. But man, no one is able to stop Zekken in that position. Let's see how this plays out, Wyatt.
Now that's just, again, that initial kill where I mentioned it's just the dimensional drift into the fault line.
Well, they have passion. They have passion, Zach. I respect that. They're going for the wins.
It definitely looked like a passionate 3-player push, for sure. Great coverage, like you mentioned, for Bang there, looking towards upper.
Wow. Out of that, feels like they might be reading into that passion because Sen started this round very slowly. Expecting that MIBR could have gone for
लोग का भाई भी लोग का भाई है.
very aggro early play. They've taken some control over.
नहीं है बड़े भैया ऐसा गुस्सा रह गया. गुस्से में.
Defending side, cycling the dark covers to retain a position, but there just random spam.
Nice one, Renate.
Finds a kill onto
Let's be professional, guys. Behave like a professional.
The Viper with the pit out of the game. That turns off the wall over towards the B side of the map. The retake wall, the screen.
Bring the room.
Makes it that much harder for MIBR to shore up their position. One of the worst players they could lose early.
देखो ये
Just here's the audio cue that
अरे चूते से इंग्लिश बात करने मन नहीं करते तीन है नक्को जाओ रे भाई प्लीज नक्को जाओ रे तीन है प्लीज नक्को जाओ
to re-clear this. It's going to be difficult playing around.
प्लीज बड़े भाई नक्को जाओ मेरे लिए नक्को जाओ
Balls, and there is that forward position still held by
तीन है बड़े भाई
Elsa's ahead of the wall, knows Cortesi is there, but is brought down. Aspas is able to spring forward, and nobody can really see Cortesi there. Bang has to just TP out.
All the while, Zekin
Smoke भी नहीं तुम्हारे
taking
कम
the
बड़े भाई
space in the mound. The intentions are to go for the C hit where Arson is fully entrenched.
Whole line ideally buys a bit of time. Zekin definitely affected by it. Here comes a rolling thunder though. Artazine is about to
let's go.
And every Zekin always seems to be on the correct side of the kill feed.
Let's go.
Bang with a second, shuts down Aspas. Time is dwindling, and there's an Armageddon left for Verno.
They've got to kill Cortesi, but that Armageddon could be a problem, and Verno has come to the rescue. Spike is down. But John is now in a 1 versus 2.
अगर जॉन के टेंशन निकाला
come back online for the breach. Cortesi a little bit low. Got to respect the salvos, and at some point
बैगन का बाल रे भाई
we'll have to wager something to get this defused. Fault line hits. But Cortesi holds his own.
Oh, was that before connected, or was that a cosmetic
क्या
stun?
बना रहे भाई तुम लोग ठहर जा रहे क्या
Continuing to be the
एक राउंड निकाल के ठहर जा रहे
as
ना
always. Time just dwindled so low for
Nice
Sen.
try, cutie.
We were just waiting and waiting for Verno to eventually rip that Armageddon. John was able to get the spike down, but at that point they had just lost too many players. Verno and Cortesi have been the duo earning this MIBR team the round wins at the moment.
For MIBR, that's got to get you out of your seat.
No worries, mate.
John's face, he knew it was tough. Again, the fall line was pretty good. I'm pretty sure it hit Verno squarely. 10 rounds in, Sentinels.
Momentum मत दो, momentum मत दो.
With the exception of that first one. They've been in very good shape. Kaplan here calls a timeout. There might be a couple of bolts close to being online, or maybe he's trying to get Sen to play around what MIBR still has, because they have a Rolling Thunder, they have a Viper's Pit. There's a couple of things that could be a little difficult for Sentinels to play into in this round.
Sen will never be in danger of having to ego in this half. It's not going to happen. But MIBR do have an opportunity to now close the gap to try to get to around that 4-round mark. If they go on a run and get 5, that would be a great half, all things considered. And then they get to swap to attack where they don't have to run into a Sentinel. There's no Vice or Cypher to slow down Aspas on the Neon. Sen need a lot of rounds here because MIBR should be able to go on a run themselves. When these sides swap, so Kaplan wants to ensure that they don't give anything away before we get there. And this is a round where things can really begin to shift for MIBR because of all those aforementioned ultimates.
But if Sen gets to 9 on this half, it's feeling very 9-3 coded, I'm going to be honest. Then they can afford a couple mistakes. The buffer is that much wider for them. Another round, of course. Money not a problem for Sen City. They are loaded. Zekin just walks across here. It's a gap left in the salvo, trying to count for a TP across.
आसपास भी वो आसपास ऑफ लेके जो ठहरता है वैसे Zekin Vandal या Phantom ने गुजराते रहता.
TP and Flashes from John has been finding opening kills there, so makes sense for the placement.
मिलना तोड़ दिए इधर.
Sentinels have not had to spend anything on this push out. It's such a cheap way to take control of rubble.
Look at Derek just teasing in the corner with the drone. Shut him, perfect timing. Oh my God, gets a second onto Bang before the full line can even connect.
Sick fault line from Artazine though, that set up the kill for Shannon all too easy. Now, things get awkward for Sentinels. Already, a contingency is being worked on by Zelsis, but he finds himself all alone.
That is MIBR.
Momentum आ गया वो MIBR के पास.
Surge of confidence.
इन लोग के पास momentum आ गया एक बार तो लगा. खतरा
So much has been predicated by the breach util on this map already. John has been instrumental in setting up Bang, setting up Zekin. We just saw the same from Artazine. Now, additionally has a rolling thunder to spend in these last 2 rounds of the half.
Ek Kumar.
They do not need to use a single ult into this round. They're going to return ult the next buy. They should
कैसा?
3 unless
Pink door के उधर से था.
make a genuine miracle happen. The last time these two teams faced off on Lotus, Celsius was the easy MVP. His Vice was really phenomenal. Sen had pivoted away from that, however. And they've really been unable to replicate the early success on this map that they had at the beginning of the year. And
पहले plan करता इससे अच्छा तो.
An inevitable conclusion to the round. With the fault line connecting on.
300 आते 300.
They've been in the lab on Lotus. You mentioned that we pivoted away from the Vice comp. This is the third
अपन आराम से लेट के देखेंगे.
comp in as many outings on this map. Yeah, whole line there, timing not perfect for John. But we're still able to take the kill on the backside eventually. Cortesi and Shenom.
Yes.
The youngsters, fantastic so far in this map. Very, very sharp. Shenom, snappy moments there in tree to secure it.
That was a real intuitive timing that he took on that swing. Center gathered up outside of mound.
Pila push kar rahe kya?
We have Aspas crossing and playing awful for one way.
Oh my goodness, Zekin's good for an early fight.
Let's go!
You better believe it.
Bye.
Make that 19 frags in 10 rounds for those keeping track at home in a dimensional drift now. Get Zekin right where he needs to be. Sees Verno solo. He's got to get out of there. It's dangerous now when Halls. Verno's going to try and cross, but the spam is too much. He's utterly overwhelmed.
मारता था ना ज़ेकिन इसको
ज़ेकिन
फुकट में अल्ट वेस्ट करा मेरे ख्याल से तब भी इसके बाद की क्या ही राउंड था एक राउंड निकाल ले सकते थे अरे उसको ड्रोन को भी शिफ्ट वॉक में ले सकते क्या शिफ्ट वॉक अरे क्या क्या सिखाते हैं लोग मेरे को जॉन की टीओ सिखाया ड्रोन ऊपर से पर्ल में A side के ऊपर से निकालने को.
A bit of space here for MIBR. Now they've got to scale through this smoke at some point. It's going to be a flash that gets them there. Zelsis though, on the move, has to back away. Shenom deals with Bang. Now an aftershock from the attackers. John trying to deny any sort of defuse, but Shenom is fighting. He's hungry, drooling for an engagement. And John will give it to him. Not the way he would have liked. Nice clean up for Sen, gets him to 8.
And with the spike planted at mound there, it's just a matter of time waste for Sen. And when you're forced to stick the spike, it's just so easy to get the free swings, deny someone from defusing. It just comes down to this early engagement. How many times have you seen Sen open a round?
Off the back of the John QT flash? Most of them.
Off the back of that, and also...
Listen, let's go, auntie. Let's go, auntie. Let's go.
Map from Aspa so far. He is not in the game. And when the side swap, he has to be.
That will be his time to shine. The Neon here, he wants to take a fight early. Overdrive, Ponty's looking for something, but stunned up. Has to fast lane for a bit of cover. Okay, Bang, can he get out of there? Yes, that'll be a way though. On an ulting Aspas, of all things. Last round of the half starts pretty well for Sentinels, but Verno might have other things to say. The one-way's in place and he tries to play off of it.
What a great ult from Ardzin to retain this space to support find the advantage, and they can just back away, wait for that fault line, and the guiding salvos to cycle back up, play for a 4 versus 3 retake. Ardzin is trying to do it, punishes him to the max.
He just heard his Armageddon as well. Narrate now has that crucial ultimate online, and Senna undecided still. They even have Zelsis to toggle this wall. So they're really going to keep MIBR in the dark of these movements across the map after that early engagement. Shenom has to peek for info. There's no other safe way for him to get it. And he'd give himself away in doing so.
Damn! What a rapid shot from John. Look at this.
He's going
to get the plant and have his rolling thunder in the 3 versus 2.
Ah, yes. Verno and Cortesia, incredible rookies, but now have to face 2 of the most powerful ultimates in Valorant. Cortesia probably wants to get to the site pretty quick. He assumes Senna vacated it. Now he sees the spike location. It's confirmed. He has to push up and take a fight. Narrate's not watching the cross right now. A little awkward for Zelsis, but man, he's good for it anyway. Verno affected by it now in the 1 versus 3. A veritable firing squad waiting for him, and Sentinels have their post-plant util. First the salvos. Forces Verno away. Next, the Armageddon. No, fault line will do it.
Just impossible. Legitimately impossible for those 2 to win in that situation.
I told you, brother. I trust on Sentinels again.
But could not get it done there. It's not just close out a dominant half.
It's not just the raw firepower for Sentinels that's been amazing here. The strategy, or at least the tactics in some of these rounds have been on point. The util set up for John. Remember, he moved over from Sentinel to take up this initiator role, and has been absolutely terrifying for anybody who wants to try and face down this Sentinel squad. It's a 9-3 half, folks. We're going to head to a break, and then we'll see if MIBR can pull themselves out of the doldrums and make a game of it.
2-0 kar do aaram se.
I heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in. Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Tense by OP.
Familiar scoreline for many of you, I'm sure. 9-3 at halftime of Lotus. Sentinels have been popping off. Zekin is at 19-7, really leading the charge, but the backup, the util usage from John Narrate has been sublime. And if you're an MIBR fan, there is one thing, and one thing only on your mind. Where is Aspas?
He has to wake up. It was a pretty poor defense half from him. So uncharacteristic. We led this map off talking about how last year he dropped 47 on Sentinels for a kill record on Lotus. Now that he's on attack playing Neon against Sentinels running a Sentinel-less comp, he needs to turn up the heat.
He's got to take liberties. There's no hard stopping power for Sentinels outside of a bullet to the cranium. That's always a risky proposal when you're up against a player like this on Neon. Aspas has gotten deep onto the B side, said allow for the take, but of course, their double initiator comp had some nasty util to flood.
How do they
सारी टेक करते हैं मेरे ख्याल से तो पहले ही पहले वो आता
now John might want to play off this, but Artazine was wholly unaffected. Chance to reload now. Here comes the fight. Artazine deals with Zelsis, almost too quick to see.
Those are some excellent salvos coming in from Perno.
Make the space for Artazine. He's now occupied and pushing up into upper. And this is going to be a clean one, folks. Here come MIBR, a much needed pistol.
That was really smooth from them. Artazine got in a very uncomfortable situation up there in heaven. He was the only player pushed up, and it was forced to reload because he was right-clicked down to just 3 bullets left. Perno sends out perfectly timed missiles into heaven to divide the 2 players who were trying to kill Artazine. They are right back into this game.
I almost know how to finish that sentence. It's a new half. MIBR trying to treat it like a new match entirely. Got a little bit of a deficit to make up.
They're set up for a big clash towards A. This wall, but Aspas, 3 spam, 3 kill.
खत्म अब आसपास शो है
that was bang.
अभी तक सेकंड शो था अब आसपास शो
of the game doing basically that.
और ना आसपास जबरदस्त खेलता है
receiving end of it. Shenum will be inserted here on this A side of the map, and we've had some drift across for Sen. They definitely are a little nervous about it.
Tens आसपास इन लोगों का 4 सेकंड इन लोगों का एम अलग ही रे
free for the taken C site
clear
by the MIBR team.
मैं खेलना तो नहीं आता पर देखना मजे आता
point of the round, have even doing much damage. They've only got classics into this. So
क्या मर जाते इसमें
MIBR to get their economy rolling, stabilize things, and the way that they bought into this round with the 2 pistols, try and get a real buy on their bonus.
पक्का फुट के मरते लगा.
Yep, this is a verified stand in the Teo Salvo round. Sendo do group up over towards Waterfall. Question of whether they push any further past this point or not remains to be seen. A couple pistols still on the side of MIBR, and his Aspas going down to get a proper rifle. That one is dropped. There's a proper fight here on the side. Zekin holds his own. Inferno's there on the corner, sprayed through to get the second, still asking for more. But John is punishing, and this is unraveling. Time though is of the essence. Shenum knows he can cover the defuse, and John does not have the time.
I mean, they're not going to win the round, but feels like they might as well have. Shenum can't even, he's not going to be able to recover a rifle. The only weapon they brought into this is a sheriff. How did they get away with doing that much damage? Funneling through Waterfall with classics. Oh, I know how. We watched the MIBR point of view.
Challenge कर रहा bottle.
Didn't hit shot.
इतने पीछे गया.
Teams in that situation though don't even bother going for the retake for Sen's position. We see it all the time.
There, baby.
that was definitely a commercial for the bundle.
Yeah, that's a marketing round.
Right. That was some great marketing. How did they get away with that? And now they've got basically an anti-eco. It feels like, like an anti-half buy.
Shenom now knows he needs to do a little more in a round like this.
Oh, good thing he saved the Sheriff. Good thing he saved it. Now he's going to upgrade.
Very snappy from Shenom. Yeah, but Narrate quickly will punish. Sen definitely favored here. Spike already down. A very fast B hit from MIBR.
And it's an MIBR team that are again trying to take his forward control. I mean, look at the top of the mini-map. Ospas is pushed all the way through into Wrap to Waterfall.
Shotgun लेके बैठे हो क्या?
Shotgun at Baby Door.
Narrate, he's ready for it. He does take a hit, but he gets in. Baby Door control secured. Now center on the side, but Verna was on a backstab angle that John is all too ready for. Extra sensory, his perception. And that's a
Kalau,
kill.
आसपास में kalau.
Back on the board, rumbling back into control.
Why?
For sure. Maybe an opportunity when Artson takes that swing with the Bucky. If he had actually fully connected that shot to get the kill, this could have been a pivotal moment. But it's Narrate finding that kill. And then John the entire time, you can see he kept turning back. He had an awareness that someone was probably going to be reflanking. He was absolutely right.
Let's go, boys. Let's come.
And because Narrate finds that kill, he can just watch the door the entire time. Big impact there.
5 is all the gate.
Fast hits to B, but now Sentinels are pretty well armed. Slightly costly round for them there, but they're happy to get the number on the board. Aspas is just looking, he's fishing. There is a lot going on here, and a gate crash for second. He needs to get away from the epicenter. Disaster.
Dolla.
This Narrate tucked so close up against the Sting. This is dangerous. Can he get one? No, he can't. This is such an awkward fight.
अरे क्या रे PUBG खेल रहे हैं लोग
100%. Now you can maybe double swing into this trade it. Try and get some judge value. Zelsus has to be careful. Paranoia hits, so he has to play closer to the door than otherwise. Now
PUBG खेल रहे PUBG. नको पिक ले इसी
wait. Chenom is in D, but that Spike is still waiting to get in the Baby Door, and now they can access it. Walk up for the clone.
अपना पट्टा भी आ रहा है पीछे से
Presence of MIBR now heading to B again.
Will they expect Bang to have pushed out and wrapped all the way so quick? No, it just doesn't look like it. Free kill onto Shenom, and now isolated in the site is Verno.
And what of Cortesia?
Flash.
Baby Door can try
Let's
and play
go.
off this, but from every angle there's a Sen player. And then Cortesia is here now. Smoke there, TP, but no Paranoia to play off of, and a smoke in his face.
On top.
That's 11 for Sentinels. And it's a backbreaker for MIBR. The money now gets a little dicey.
Narrate and Celsius just
Let's
double
go
up
Sen.
in Baby
Let's
Door.
go Sen. Let's go Sen.
Pivotal players in that round for Sen. How is he alive? How is he surviving? And then Celsius runs in with the judge
Time.
into the jumping classic.
इसका मैप देख कितना छोटा है.
Part 2 of the bundle commercial.
I mean, that is a cure for hypotension if you're captain, though. You probably watched that moment and you're just white-knuckling the handle of the seat there. Timeout here for MIBR.
Okay, do time.
As good a time as any for it now is likely. Economically, they can only afford half armors and some weird buys, a Guardian here or there, maybe Sheriff. They're encroaching on their two powerful initiator ultimates, though. So for those fast hits, or to shut down maybe a potential flood for Sentinels, there are options for MIBR, but it's something that Front and Co., they're going to have to put it together piece by piece.
Just around like that, there's so many players on Sen that are all making great proactive decisions at the same time. It's just beautiful to watch. All of that action was happening in Baby Door. Bang. The seaside was wrapping behind for the flank. It's just all set up so perfectly. The players are playing with a lot of confidence. This is really some of the best of Sen that we've seen all year.
If you're captain,
hands down on this playoff run.
You just worry about history repeating itself, maybe. So strong in playoffs domestically. They want to maintain, they want to bottle this lightning for the next couple of series and then into Masters. A brief pause there on the stage. Mild audio issue. And a chance here for
अरे फिर से आ गया रे बाबा तो technical pause.
It's quite a second half, but we've not really seen him equipped. We haven't really seen him get
किसको
going.
क्या हुआ फिर से?
That pistol and that bizarre round 14. We're seeing take a fight with classics and take all the guns away from MIBR, forcing them onto the worst bonus you could really imagine after winning the second round.
That was a disaster round for MIBR. I'm also just looking at the scoreboard right now. John is at 13 kills, 6 deaths, and 13 assists. He's only died a third of the rounds that we played. And he's getting an insane amount of assists to have, and he has the second most kills in the server again. Right now. He's put on such a show. And, you know, maybe it's making me think back to just all of the discussion that has been had around this team since Tens and Saucy departed. They bring in Narrate and Bang, they make this role swap with John that on paper didn't really seem to make a ton of sense at the time because Narrate had been playing K-Corp and surely John would just stay Sentinel. It makes sense with the way that things are set up, but no, they swap into Initiator. And a lot of people were questioning why that was the case. They didn't feel like the gameplay we were seeing was backing up the decision. But
तब तक हवा देना ही पड़ता, नहीं तो मेरी पीसी मेरे को गांड मार देती.
This wasn't the right decision. Now, of course, we need to see them pass this. You know, they play this game. We need to see them again in Toronto. But right now, this is some strong evidence supporting that this is a great role for him and that they have made the right decision.
And fans of Sentinels, though, remember, this team felt like absolute world beaters when we sent them off to Bangkok. Expectations were at an all-time high, and they slumped at that tournament. They came back, and they really had to come together again. They had a bit of a rocky, like week 2, I think it was lost to crew. There were definitely questions over whether this team even had that form from kickoff, whether they could reclaim that.
Take a boss, a repeat of last year, where Sen get back from that first international tournament. Really have a bad slump.
Miss out on that second
mark. It felt like we were getting there when Crew dominated them week 2. And then from there, they got a few wins, not against the strongest competition, but they were able to get wins in a row, and now अभी चला लो मेरा पीसी बहन की चूत उसका ढक्कन निकला हुआ है, चला लो ये माइक चूत दिया जब देखो तब अर्थिंग मेरे गाने में मारते रहे, चला लो इसमें क्या है, तुम लोग कुछ रेगे फायदा नहीं है, नहीं रेगे फायदा आगे
MIBR have definitely evolved since they picked up Bruno. Obviously he's an incredible shooter and his util is very, very solid. I think overall they've gotten more free-flowing, they seem a lot more confident, they're swinging and fighting and shooting.
Not in front of you, second bye.
So I think it's just been a
I disagree.
Boost
I totally disagree.
Since they picked him up.
शुरू करो यार ऐसे. Hey! Hey! गलती से रिवील कर दिया रे. अरे रिवील कर दिया रे गलती से. They fucked the brother. लीक कर दिया. स्क्रिप्ट लीक्ड बोल के लिख रहे द चैट में. Fire the dude who posted. Yeah, bro, fire the dude who posted 1-0. अरे सस्पेंस था रे. सस्पेंस पूरा खत्म कर दिया रे.
Ever as a team still doesn't quite seem to be able to measure up to Sentinels so far in this series. We're still in map 1, folks. Round 17 on the docket. Sen have a 6-round lead. It's 11-5. We've got a bit of an audio issue down on stage, which is currently being rectified. I can see Bang being able to speak to
1-0 हो गया.
Guys
1-0 हो गया. दिखा दिया मैंने. Next round जीती तो 1-0 है.
Keep you guys updated with it, but I mean, MIBR wants so much more than this. I mean, we saw those really heartfelt interview with Cortesia and Artesine in the pre-show. You know, being great here in America says fine, but for these guys, they have their sights set so much higher than that. And Aspas at this point is probably getting sick of, falling at that last hurdle, falling at that, hurdle and not being able to attend international. They've secured that at least. They're in very good shape for that, but that top seed is definitely what they've got their eye on.
There's a lot of pressure on this team too. They are the hope of the Brazilian scene.
That motherfucking Indian guy there.
All odds, it is MIBR. Not loud.
Let's go.
Who are the hope
India
of the
पे भाई
Brazilian
Indians
scene.
जहाँ भी मिलेंगे तुम लोगों को.
Tons of pressure.
कोई कोने में चले जाओ फिर भी मिलेंगे यार. Proud Indians यार.
From the bottom of the leaderboard to the top this year.
It's insane how far cry it is from watching a solo lurking sky on sunset from MIBR last year constantly get flattened. And wonder not only where that team was going, but where the Brazilian scene had to...
भाई जयशा है भाई. Valorant का जयशा कौन है भाई?
I'm looking. Where's do I see less? Do I see?
भाई उसको तो फायर करो भाई. जो 1-0 डाला है.
I mean, where are they at?
Where's Noswa?
भाई उससे काम नहीं हो रहा भाई. वो तीसरी बार आया.
In the scene that Aspas was able to bring up. This roster to be a Brazil in VCT America.
लेट जाता. लेट के यूं करते रहता था.
Today, at least as we stand, they have gone up against the Sentinels who are at
Chat में देखना बच्चों ये.
riding the high of beating the unbeatable G2.
It's pretty insane stuff from this Sentinels team. So still some discussion here about how to make Bang's teammates hear him. Has anyone told him that maybe they're just ignoring him? No? All right, it's capsule voting time, folks. Sen or MIBR? Yeah, I mean, listen, the sales have been cranking on the Sen bundle. I wonder what this gentleman... almost
तू Sentinel का कपड़ा पहन के MIBR की गन को दिखा. तू एक गन से मार दूँ तेरे को.
What about you? Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm seeing the Zelsis sign in your hand. Yeah, you don't need to tell me twice.
मेरे ऊपर भी डालो ना, please.
We are selecting very specifically for Sen fans only here, obviously.
Can we find a non-Sen jersey just to really, throw them for a loop for at least 1 second?
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay, the MIBR bundle. Nice to see that. Valen is my goat. Which is your goat bundle? You're pointing upwards.
There is nothing here.
Damn. Why are you gonna do me like that? All right, MIBR fans. Okay. I like that one.
Brother.
Brother had me in the first half. Not gonna lie. Sen bundlers. Yeah. It's mirrored, guys. I know.
It's the camera
tricky.
left.
It is tricky. All right. Look at this. Hits it on the first time. Confident. I mean, again, see how his pistol rounds been going for Sentinels. Every reason to feel confident about our one.
The PRX hoodie?
Jeez.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we are on like a 10-2.
Bro got in first time.
Scoreline in this game so far.
Maybe if this was in Sao Paulo. we are
A sentence.
Take me back, honestly.
Bro, he's Indian. Back. He's Indian.
Not a Sen bundler. It's okay. We've all done it.
The bundle jersey. That's a great.
Oh,
crazy comp.
What? Hey. Okay, fair enough. That's
maybe Puma पे ना भाई Puma का
Okay, MIBR bundle indeed. So
अरे कब तक रे भाई ऐसे सो के रहता.
The table. I know they're not just watching the feet of Banger.
कर कुछ तो भी आगे पेटले.
Palm fronts for the guy, and he walks into the room because he's been that important for this team this year. But we are playing Operation on our little audio box here. Still keep you updated as things progress here. Hopefully no one bumps their head. That seems pretty treacherous. Thank God he's wearing his shoes. So many places like take off their shoes and play like that. I feel for the techs who have to get in there amongst all that.
Want to play against Bro and win.
भाई ऐसा खेलना है तो बता दो भाई.
Was that a shot? Okay, right. Anyway, you're making a short joke. Okay. That's my go-to. If someone is vertically challenged, I just say they'd be great at limbo because ain't on bending their knees. You know what I mean? Just walk straight under. Yeah.
Take a stroll.
We had a different idea with this. Earlier, we spoke with Aspas about his hand-picked team, MIBR's growth in the year 2025. Let's take a look.
I think we are a team that we are just improving day by day. In the site, I asked for everyone to be patient with us because we are a brand new team. But I already knew and say to the fans that we are going to improve in the year. During the year, we will only get better. The scenario is still the same, but now I don't need to ask for patience anymore because we are already playing at a good level. But I know that we can be even better.
हाँ अब 0-0 लाया मेरे तो स्क्रीन They are trying to reverse this.
Oh, c'est le reconnu Mercato.
Marius, t'as pris une vitre ou bien?
ना मैं प्रीसेट करते क्या पागल है क्या
Oh. Eh ouais, moi j'aime pas les neurones, Marius.
Enedis branche les événements au réseau électrique pour limiter l'usage.
पागल है क्या उसका टेक्निकल पॉज का मैं प्रीसेट करते पे
Rejoignez-nous.
So sorry for the delay. We want to let everyone know that we're working on it. You can see our incredible team on stage addressing it as it is.
Start.
You will be sticking with us here in our dulcet tones. I don't know if the
Start
camera's
करो.
going to come to us.
What do you think they're doing?
Start करो public. अरे क्या है मसला?
Switching wires.
Well, found out we're swapping audio boxes, all this stuff. And by the way, we got an Oxy. He's here today.
Oh hey,
look at him.
Spawned in out of nowhere.
Look at him. He just showed up. He showed up in a really, really nice Cloud9 hoodie. Look at that there.
John बनेगा Don बनेगा John.
Check it out. Oxy, pleasure to have you here, buddy. First things first, you know, we're not done with the match quite yet. We're still waiting for the results, obviously, from that one. But just preliminary, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
I mean, like, Zekin is actually just a Zekin show. This guy's just insane. I'm not gonna lie. We play them in scrims. Their entire Jordan is the guy dropping 30 against us. In the match, Zekin is just like
brother start करो brother.
So Celsius is the one dropping the 30s.
Konnichiwa.
Celsius.
Start चाहिए वा.
Is Zekin like feeding in scrims? What's happening?
He's just chilling, you know. He's just playing.
Start कर रहे भाई. और ना chatting कर रहे हैं.
Hey man, well look, so far it has looked pretty good for Sentinels, but MIBR showing signs of life. Coming back to it, but Emmy, you were talking about before about the composition, what you were expecting to see. Did it play out the way that you had envisioned it when we talked last?
No, because I didn't expect the Yoru, but I don't know if it's the Yoru or it's just Zekin, but it's incredible. I don't know what Francis thinks about playing Yoru on this map.
हालत देख लो.
Yoru, I think it's good against this meta because it baits out a lot of utility like Teo and Breach, and also it commonizes as well because, like, you know, Teo and Breach.
दूसरा मैप स्टार्ट हुआ था तब को.
Everything, and it's also like they just work so well together. So I mean, I think it's a good change, but I think the main reason is on defense.
टमाटर मस्त कर दे.
Because he's alone a lot, and you can instant rotate TP.
The पहला number.
It takes time, but yeah.
I also
you want to take my job?
No.
Just let him coach you. Hey, would you make a good duelist? I'm hearing right now. I want to see Oxy in the chair, losing his mind, Emmy on the stage. You know, that's what I want. I want the role reversal.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
No, I was also just gonna say, like, one of the things that I really like about the Yoru on defense, especially, is that it masks a lot of your intent in the round. Because usually, like, if you have a Neon, you're like showing stun pretty early on, or you're like trying to take the forward fights. You're usually fighting a bit quieter with the Yoru, right? So like taking contact lines, so it forces the attackers to come in.
भैया.
You can get on a line and then you have your TP. And what a lot of teams you'll notice do is they'll hit where the Yoru is around 110. So that's when his TP is running out. That's what people are doing right now. But yeah, he just walks in quietly, gets the line, and then he has the fast rotate as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of knowledge on this test. A lot of knowledge. But you know what? I want to put that to the test.
सासी दो सासियां एक बूस्टर.
Where you at? That's right. The rules are simple. Okay, we're going to see a very small portion of the map, and then you guys are going to have to guess which map it is. So let's go ahead and get this started.
Let's go.
You understand the rules?
Oh, no, I understand.
I have a feeling Oxy is going to know.
Icebox.
Okay.
What the hell?
Where? Oxy, I was bringing you up, bro, and then you let me down.
Wait, I think I know.
Where we at? Where we at?
I mean,
Are we on Fracture?
Are we on Fracture?
Icebox.
Icebox. And by the way, for those of you in the studio, feel free to let us know. Just pop up.
Icebox, brother. Fracture में ऐसा कहीं भी नहीं है.
I think it's Fracture. Just put back. I forgot that was even a map.
Fracture में क्या?
That does look
rather.
नहीं fracture में नहीं icebox.
You know, I'm looking at the
Icebox airport.
All right. Well, let's see.
Interior room.
So we got bind, we got fracture, and icebox. I'm also going with Ender on bind. Let's see what we have. Survey says.
I knew it was
Heaven में कहाँ है भाई? तुम ना खुद से लगा ली हल्लू तो अभी. Heaven में मैं जिंदगी में कभी भी नहीं देखा ट्यूबलाइट.
I've never seen that in my life.
They're finding some difficult spots for you. Okay, I think I might know where this is.
Wait. Oh my God.
Heaven.
Split, right? But
well, I was going to say icebox because it looks like a heater, and isn't there like a? No, maybe.
Nah, brother, not a heater, yo.
I want to see fracture again.
I'm going to go icebox. That's what I'm going.
Bind.
Think bind? Okay, I'm going icebox. Amy needs at least
icebox बोला क्या बोला मैं?
And maybe some, you know, like little Websters.
Icebox क्या बोला मैं भूल गया.
I hate that you said I need
Bind
some
me.
hair.
Heaven, heaven.
He went up and like I'm going fracture.
That annoyed me as well.
Heaven, heaven.
Over here, unbelievable. All right, we can say fracture. I say icebox. What do you say? Bind.
You went straight to myself.
Okay.
You work yourself into a shooting game.
I've never seen that. I play this game hundreds of hours a week.
Yeah.
I've never seen it in my life.
Because you've never threw a lineup in your life. That's all.
Called out in 4K. Love it. All right, we got one more. Let's see what we have. This actually couldn't have worked out better. And I know there's more of a game. Good God.
That's split.
No, that's a Sen.
I was thinking I thought.
हाँ ये icebox जैसा दिख रहा पर icebox नहीं कपड़ा है बोल तो ये होंगी split.
But it has like Dino logos on it. It's like it's crazy.
I think it's just because
Split.
of the tarp. There was like a little tarp that they added on that.
Split या तो icebox guys. तुम लोग भी comment करो. मेरे ख्याल से split नहीं तो icebox.
We all thought different maps. You say a Sen, we're all like, yeah, it's a Sen.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy.
I'm going with the Sen.
Second choice is always correct, so I'm sticking on split.
Okay, you're sticking with split. I'm going with the Sen. Oxy's going with a Sen.
I think it's a Sen, but I'm going to go icebox.
Okay, he's going icebox.
If it's a Sen, I was right.
You could be right. Yeah. I will say though,
ये नया मैप है नहीं मालूम मेरे को cheating है पुरानी मैप लेके आओ.
I was thinking the outside area. I was thinking the new area. That's the new area. I was thinking the one inside of me.
I thought inside of you.
Yeah.
Well, it was bright out. How is it going to be
And you
inside?
know what though? I got it right, and I said it with my whole chest, and I don't care.
100%.
Failing upwards.
I'm a genius. We do have one more. Because there's still, by the way, in case you're just joining us, we do want to let everyone know we apologize for the delay. We're getting everything sorted on stage with our awesome team. They're getting everything sorted. For now, we're just hanging out, so stick around with us, and, you know, we'll see where this goes.
I want to be clear, I do not apologize.
That's fine. I mean, you could not
out there.
I'm the host, so I do apologize on the behalf of the show. Anywho, let's go ahead and run the next map. We got to see what we have here. Last one.
Oh, diet milk.
Hey, I've never seen diet in my life.
Sunset.
This is the
Sunset.
Okay, now I'm getting mixed up. I want to say split.
I think it's
Sunset या तो icebox.
because it's right in CT spawn.
दोनों में से नहीं रहा.
I know there's a
Wait,
diet
dark
milk
कर
in kitchen on icebox. But I don't think this is the kitchen on icebox. I think
Sunset नहीं तो icebox.
It's split.
It'll be funny if it's Breeze.
Sunset नहीं तो icebox.
All right, let's zoom out. Let's see what we have. I'm really curious. It probably is split. It's oh my God!
Yeah.
You say it with your whole chest and you get it wrong. It's unbelievable.
I didn't know that was there. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that was there.
either.
You know, it makes
क्या
sense.
हुआ भाई?
Pearl's, you know, it's a small town under the ocean. Right. You know what I mean? People
तो हर
live
बार
there.
जब सब फ्यूचर में तुम लोग देखते तब आके करवाओ अभी गुस्से में.
You can still, I'm sure the ground is good for the beans to grow and whatever. I'm not a freaking agricultural mastermind.
भाई उतना ढूंढ लेते बैठते क्या भाई? Common दोनों का.
Actually going into water is pretty wild there. All right, folks. Well, of course, we don't want to remind everyone yet again, delay on the stage, but we do want to make sure that we're getting to the action as soon as we possibly can. There, of course, you guys can see as we get ready to go here. But
Let's go!
That we are going to be sending this one back over to the casters. So now it's their responsibility to speak for a while. Let's hope it's going to be for a short one. Fellas, over to you.
Great to be back here in the castle booth, folks. It's Uber and Wyatt taking you into round 17 of the first map between Sentinels and MIBR. To score, for those who may have forgotten, 11-5, with Sentinels winning the last 2 in a row, coming up on another heavy hitter.
Yeah, and additionally, if you have short-term
Sentinels
memory,
are fourth against MIBR all the
he is getting a 2K pretty much every round. He got an ace.
Sentinels are Sentinels, bitch.
John is throwing a perfect utility on the breach. Sen are looking the best that they've looked all year. I'm gonna be honest. These past couple games, this playoff run from them has been lights out.
Aspas has had upwards of a kill per round in the second half after 1 in every 4 in the previous one. So an improvement here for MIBR's star duelist. And it's going to take a little bit more than that to close this ever widening gap.
Crucially, into this round, MIBR, they have brought their economy down to nothing just to get wins. They have 2 rifles, some light armors, not an ideal buy, but they do not want Sen to get 12, but Zekin has other ideas. He is unstoppable, man.
And that's one of your bigger controllers off the map already. Hitting this site could be tricky. Bang catches Shenop. That's over the A side of the map. So now confirmation this is a real deal. Hit over towards C. Aspas is trying to trend forwards here, but Sen are just going to give it up for now. They know that Verno has an Armageddon.
How on earth can MIBR possibly win this 3 versus 5? Narrate has an Armageddon of his own. John has a full kit. Fault line is coming in. Zakin is getting the info.
There's a Sen Armageddon coming in, and Arzine can't quite get out alive. Aspas can't see a damn thing. Ew! Kenny from Baby, and Verno is in the 1v5.
Jai Shah
bleed their economy just to have a competitive round, and it looks anything but.
Sen, they're going to get it to 12. John is even getting the defuse so he can have the Rolling Thunder on top of everything else to close out this game and go to Sen's map pick split. This wasn't even their map pick, damn it. They looked this good. And they haven't even won this map yet in this stage. This is the 3rd time they're playing it, and the 3rd time that they switched their comp.
So I don't kill him, and you take the bomb from me. At least Marshall had the decency to say, Jordan, this is your clutch. All gonna into 9.
What gesture was he sending to a teammate there? He just cut off at the top of the camera. Unfortunate, really. Here it is, though. MIBR now forcing for the rest of the game.
Guys,
and they've got the Rolling Thunder Armageddon ready to go. And a fault line that doesn't shake the bang a little bit as Aspas wants to follow up.
अगर Indians
गए and not commit just yet. Great dodge of the Rolling Thunder by the way.
Suppose Indians
gए ready for Aspas. He has been shut down, neutralized entirely over the course of this game. But Arzine chooses his spot.
मार लौड़े अरे बैड की चूत कॉल से ऐसे आते हैं गाइस बैड का लड़ा मार के चले गया आधा इसकी माँ का मारना Zekin भाई यस कितने लोग इसमें मेरे उसमें 0 होंगे ऐसे भी इनके इसमें कितने भाई कितने लोग लगे
It's not great, but ideally
20,000 users
best I can hope for.
मेरे उसमें 5 सोच लो कल देखे तो कभी भी देखे तो उनके सामने आप भागे Zekin भाई
And from there they set up a man advantage post plant trade.
Ultra kill करता है लोग को sponsor. Ultra kill. I'm also open agent. Please sponsor me.
To get them onto the seaside as well. All right, brick by brick. MIBR are trying to build their way back into the match.
फिर उठाते नहीं क्या है ना?
They try to make this comeback a reality is the fact that Sen already are sitting on multiple ultimates. That duel shuts down Zekin. A rare sentence to be spoken in this game.
That's 2 quiet rounds.
Sentinels.
Viper's pit over at B now, so that's a non-option for MIBR. A looks much more tantalizing. We'll have John and Narrate on patrol. Already going to try and push up here. Narrate was clear of the fault line, but clear this space, and a lot of util is being spent to keep it cleared out. Back at the site, looks like Bank's team keys in, so there's more Sen players now in attendance. As Aspas heads to drop. Nothing to see just yet, and here comes that plant. Salvos, dangerous for Arzine. But he's able to walk away now as a Viper is deployed, and there's Aspas. He's just 1 step ahead of Bang there. Down to 3. Sentinels have to dig them out.
It's going to be so tough though.
Safe करते easy है बहुत easy. एक ही round निकालना है. निकाल लेते.
Feel like they need to get out of there with the rifles. After that pit came down,
मैं तो मांगता खेलने मांगता.
Round is essentially over. Trying to root players out of that pit would be
ताकत रहते तुझको
Rolling Thunder, that's never guaranteed. Sometimes it's a bit cosmetic. And Bang probably feels like he has to go for it there, right? He TPs to
नींदों में बसियां
wanted to make use of that ultimately,
जैसे
see if he could get something done. Patient here for Sentinels, 3-gun save now as their economy gets a little rockier.
past couple rounds, MIBR starting to just straight up.
तेरे मस्त मस्त दाने मेरे दिल का ले गए चैन तेरे मस्त मस्त दाने मेरा दिल का ले गए
Complexion
चैन
of that post punt very different. And then on the prior, Artzin just swings in, gets two. Might be too little, too late. But these guys could be individually starting to come to life from map 2.
The game looks so different when the Lurking Viper is taking and winning duels. That's been Shenom's MO so far this half.
फेक किया अरे उसको वॉल की वजह से गया क्या
MIBR Bloods hitting that site, the fast neon hits early in the half at least, now slowing it down.
चेक कर लो जो करना है निकल गया ये राउंड इजी ये राउंड निकल गया
On the opposite side, the defensive stealth mode goes all the way through the end to spawn. Doesn't spot anything percent. A lot of pressure could be applied to Zelsis here. He was thinking how quickly they can actually get onto him. He is stunned and weak.
And there might not be anywhere to go here. John has to be careful. Has a rolling thunder, so might want to set up for a flood retake. But look at Zelsis, he stayed alive. He stayed alive! And he gets the spike loose. That's a backbreaker. Now Aspas has to deal with it. He can.
मुझको प्यार सजना
Sentinels, plus that rolling thunder still.
I love how Zelsis played that, realizing that all
आराम
he
से
needed to
गिरता
do there was be a nuisance by living, playing within his own smoke, drawing attention from MIBR.
Rolling thunder comes in. Aspas is very low, and in comes Zekin now. Flash to tree, wants to check it out. Finds one, but Aspas at 3 health is giving a good account of himself. Bango knows a strong wind would have blown him over, and he converts. It's up to Shenop.
वहीं है मियाँ
They certainly are as the door is tapped.
10 seconds left.
Shenop now has to fight to 1v3, and it's not to be.
स्क्रिप्ट लीक हो गई थी पहले ही
Sentinels take Lotus, the map pick of MIBR. A nasty blow to strike so early in the series.
And for the first time in these playoffs, MIBR have dropped a map 4-0 until this point. Sen stole that one away. Zekin was on an absolute heater, start to finish. The way this map opened, if you think back, the first 5 rounds felt like they were over in, I don't know, 5 minutes or less.
कितना देर का ब्रेक है गाइस
John
4
and
minutes
Zekin, the fragging from the duelist and then those supportive.
कुछ भी बोलो यार कल मैच देखे को तुम लोग मैच में जो अपने पट्टे जो मारे शुभमन गिल और साई सुदर्शन भाई जो ड्राइव्स स्टेट ड्राइव पुल भाई एक भी शॉट ऐसे हवा में नहीं गया रे कल उतने खेल के 230 मैं सच में बोलूं मजाक नहीं मतलब सच में बोल रहा हूँ ऋतुराज भाई याद है ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ सच में सेम क्रिकेटिंग शॉट्स ऋतुराज भी देख लो तुम लोग सेट हो गया कट शॉट पुल स्ट्रेट ड्राइव कवर ड्राइव नो फैंसी शॉट्स टाइमिंग पे पूरा मज़ा आता है वैसे क्रिकेट देखने विराट भाई की बैटिंग में ऐसी चल रही थी तुम लोग ऑब्जर्व करो एक बार ड्राइव वगैरह वगैरह तब तक हम मारेंगे तब तक स्ट्रीम पे नहीं दिख रही ना उसका फ्री प्रमोशन नहीं करना कॉलेज का एकदम लड्डू कॉलेज है लड्डू चूतिया कॉलेज 4 बज गए 4 बज गए क्या रही भाई नहीं मेरी कितना मिनट का ब्रेक दिया रे लोगों को आ जाते पट्टे अपने कैसा 2-0 करने का है ना मसला अरे ऐसा रहने दो उड़ जा रहा गाइस लियो पानी पीने stay hydrated guys always be stay hydrated अरे पर मेरा ये चूतिया क्या मेरा दिखता है एकदम मेरा खैर मंगदा है कब तक सब उठाता है रात के 4 बज रहे माँ की आँख जल्दी जल्दी स्टार्ट करो खत्म करो मसला क्या हुआ रे बार बार उठ रहा मंगदा खैर मंगदा है मेरा खैर मंगदा आज तो मतलब आज 3 मार्च हो गया 3 मई CSK वर्सेस RCB ठीक है RCB जीतते जीतो पर अगर गलती से तुम लोग हार गए खेल लेते हो बड़े मारा जाएगा
with how that went. We were definitely prepared. We had a bunch of stuff ready for that map. It was pretty obvious they would pick it as long as we banned Icebox. And I wouldn't say we ever change our strats. I always expect them to be maximum confident, but definitely makes it a little more relaxing going into it, knowing they have something they earned confidence from, which was our last series.
All right. Well, good luck in map 2 as well.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Sentinels. They go up in this series 1-0 with a 13-7 victory on Lotus, which of course sets our attention towards Split. Of course, Golden Boy here alongside with Imi. You got Oxy from C9 joining us, as well as Ender to break it all down. Let's actually do just that, shall we, gentlemen? Because I came into this one feeling good about MIBR, feeling good about maybe seeing Icebox do his work, do the things that we expect him to do, but instead just never really was able to get that online, and instead just got shut down by much more prepared Sentinels, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinels I think they knew if they banned Icebox, this was going to get picked into them. They just abused
1.2 की KD है उसकी इसकी 2 की KD है
was definitely online before Aspas was.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
इनके सेकंड टॉप फ्रैगर का किल उन लोगों का फर्स्ट टॉप फ्रैगर का किल है
there's only 2 people
कहाँ से होता
duelist players, Zekin and Aspas, and it's a beautiful game to see when you see both of them playing each other, and I guess Zekin's just on like today.
What makes him so different for you, especially you being the duelist for your team, right? What inspiration do you pull from players like Aspas and Zekin?
Honestly, for me, it's just what I've seen from like how they play and how they interact with their teammates. Like I know Aspas, like this guy played on Lev for 1 year.
Yeah.
Went to champs. Well, I'm not. Did he go to champs?
Yes.
Qualified a bunch of events.
भाई
lifted a trophy.
Crazy. Yeah.
जो बात करना है करो.
He joined MIBR. Like
पहले उनका मैच लगा. मैच लगा के खत्म करो इस्लाम में चलिए.
You said they were booty for a little while.
And then now he just joins, and they're qualifying at like most events, top 3 last in kickoff.
No.
Honestly, I don't understand it.
It's proof that it's not random. There's a reason. Aspas seems to be the connecting tissue.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just felt like in this opening map, like he just couldn't put it up against what Zekin had. Like Zekin had these couple of back-to-back rounds of just crazy spray transfers. The ace round after they win the bonus, then they keep stringing along, which gave Sentinels a 7-1 lead so early on.
I mean, this moment here, this kid was pulling off some wild stuff here. This was the ace.
That's one.
That was one, and then he had the crazy TP.
Yeah,
into
this play right here.
This is like when we played them on the Sen, and he's just instantly online, and you're just allowing him to get online early, and he's just got so much momentum. You just know he's going to have a good game.
Yeah, how do you even slow that down, though? That's the thing. And it felt like, Oxy, that was the part that MIBR were really struggling with. And what's funny is we were talking about the Yoru actually being inherently slower for them, for Sentinels, but yet it seemed like when it came down to it, when Zekin wanted to let it go, when he wanted to hit the go button, they were in there.
To be honest, in this meta, you can't really. I'm not gonna lie. You can't really stop against this meta. You kind of just gotta like play retake, Yeah, you're gonna play the timings, you're gonna play Breach utility, Teo utility, and that's just kind of how the meta goes right now.
Yeah, it's all about timing. It's like you've got to keep
Start
noting timing.
start
Like
karo.
if Breach is your stun, you have to give that information to your team straight away.
Yeah.
And it's all about the utility advantage. And then you know if you can play in or you have to play out.
Yeah. Because you see it even in those clips, like the utility that Sentinels is setting up behind Zekin to take those fights too is always there.
Yeah, very well done there, obviously, from Sentinels. MIBR still needing to figure it out, and they have a great coach to do that. It's Coach Fraud on standby ahead of map 2. Let's get his thoughts.
I'm joined by Fraud ahead of map 2.
Start
Question
karo
about
to
that
ye sab
last
kya hai re
map.
bhai?
It looked like it took the team a little bit to get going, but also star power fire coming out of the Sentinel side. How do you kind of mitigate that, get the team going again, and get ready for map 2?
वो shows our stream page.
They came out with they were shooting, but they were also playing a very like slow defaulty style, and I think we were getting a little bit impatient. So I think this is going to be one of those games that it's going to be a little bit longer, especially if they're going to keep playing slow like this. But we have to be okay with playing against teams who play slow and not get so impatient, and just kind of maintain our plan, maintain our resources a little bit more, and hopefully it'll turn out better.
Awesome insight as always. Thank you so much.
All right, so you heard Coach Fraud there talk about maintaining the resources, all that. Coach Jimmy, got to go over to you for this one. Thoughts on that? How do you feel, especially as we get ready for split?
I mean, they're getting used to a new style.
Yeah.
Slowing down. That's exactly why they picked Yori, to slow it down, right? So like you said, he's just got to get used to it. He's got to put that through to his teams. He's got to go speak to them now and be like, be more patient, wait for the opportunities, don't try and force anything.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one, though, because it feels like Ender Sentinels doing everything they can to force those mistakes out of MIB.
Yeah, I think the Sentinels play a really well thought through, controlled style of game that becomes difficult. But I know you wanted to talk about split, Ivy. Give me the sauce on what Sentinels are playing.
Well, I think Sentinels just need to control B main. So with this comp, funny story, I'll give a funny story. G2 played this comp against them. Smashed them, Sentinels stole it, Sentinels played us, smashed us, we stole it. So all three of us knew how to play this comp, and that's how the meta came around with this comp.
Well, there you have it. You see the genesis of the meta coming about here from Cloud9, from Sentinels, and most importantly from G2 at the origin point. Very interesting to see how this all is going to shake out. Of course, we got split coming up right after this. Can we get a map 3? We'll find out after this short break.
Let's go. यही इंटरफेस आया था अभी तक. पहले स्क्रिप्ट लीक हो गई थी रे ये. बेचारे से गलती से हो गया, अब उसको भर रहे होंगे, कुप्पा भर रहे होंगे. आसपास का जेट आ रहा है. अब आसपास का जेट आता, सेकंड का रेज आता, फट रही थोड़ी थोड़ी. आसपास मारता रे, आसपास ऑफ और जेट सीधा डैश मार देता हूँ. कहाँ बोलता हूँ, उसकी मर्जी है इस जगह पे. ट्रैकिंग अच्छा मारता डैश, जेट के डैश पे ही वो. अब कोई सामने वाला जेट ट्रैक कर ऐसा डैश मार रहा ना, वो वहीं पे बुलेट मारता है, उसका एंड पॉइंट है. Yeah, buddies, what is up? Hope you're doing well.
Sentinels took those advantages right at the beginning of the rounds.
Absolutely. It was Zekin in particular who walks away from that map with 7 first
Mike,
kills.
interesting
But overall, Sen leading
6.
That is utter dominance from them in those early round fights. We saw it every single time. Now headed over to split. Can MIBR turn the tide, and specifically, can Aspas?
Double
He's
initiator,
back
double
on Jet, which is just his agent. He defined Jet. That is years. And even when this MIBR team earlier in 2025
फिर से योरू खेला रे बाबा.
they were finding
बाबा रेस खेलने का
just
इसमें
by
तो.
virtue of him on that agent being one of one.
Did they ever play Teo in kickoff?
They did in the
MIBR?
first game actually,
Right.
and then they moved away from it. I mean,
ऐसे भी क्या ही
at the
करता
start
था
of this year, the MIBR team were
नेड
the
करो.
most successful team
वापस आ
not
जाओ.
playing the meta,
नेड
and
करो.
now they
Yo.
are. They have
Ah,
ended
twin
up in
brothers.
the exact same, well, not exact same, but you know, they
Let's
are
start
at least
then.
in the top 3, so same result at minimum as kickoff. But now they are integrating the Tejo like everyone else.
उसके अंदर जाता.
Well, they keep the classic, sense to their compositions quite often.
अमो.
So that's something worth keeping eyes on. The Jet.
They're going to let Aspas be comfortable here on the Jet while still
Let's go
playing
then.
the other meta initiatives.
Right, first map for MIBR. Now it's Sen's battleground of choice, but Split has been very good for MIBR so far in stage 1. Undefeated, but against some weaker teams. We'll start to pistol with Aspas immediately taking an engagement here against John. The B site's already open for young and old.
Oh, that was dangerous for a second, but Zekin is able to find Shenum. Not before he does a significant amount of damage, however. Someone himself is very low, susceptible to even just a single shot. Aspas wants to press forward, but is punished for it by the double swing.
Again, no better way to shut down a star player than to overload him. This now puts Sen at a player advantage, and they're slowly encroaching their control of Heaven. Cortesia playing a bit further forward towards B main to try and cut second off. It's going to be a battle of shooters on that part of the map. Sen will want a way into the B side, and Zekin might use this commotion to do so. Look at the timing he's found! Cortesia not sticking around long enough. Verno takes a tap to the shoulder here as Sentinels are going to get about it now. Verno and Artazine have to dig in now. Time is short, but Sentinels have the numbers to spend. Here's a tap. Zekin gets ahead of it though. 4 kills on the pistol.
Let's go.
And a defuse to get Sen.
That's going to bring Zekin 2 orbs away from the dimensional drift.
Zekin carrying bro Sentinels.
Assuming they can convert.
Single-handedly carry कर रहा bro.
That post-plant play though from Zekin as well is so good. He finds his kill on Shen, wraps up B main there, and just before that, he was waiting for his team to make all the noise so he could hit the go button. And there was a little moment where Cortez. Bro, we get it, bro. You want to ult? I mean, yes, it's high percentage play, right? But they do such a great job of setting him up for success there by drawing all the attention to Heaven, allowing him to flank through B main. And Zekin is starting this map just as electrically left us
उसका dash jet में
dimensional drift
different
for the bonus.
gravy है उन्हें.
What a tantalizing prospect.
Different शादाब का gravy है उन्हें शादाब का.
Maybe I hear a grouped up, even Cortesia joining them after early presence on the B side. Jonathan might have a decent timing to send this off. Just one player testing the wall, and call comes out that there might be some action from MIB. Biding their time now up a fault line. Artazine is going to try and be the starter's pistol for MIBR. In we go. Smoke over towards Heaven side here. Fault line came out from the defender side. That's John trying to slow them up. Narrate, rather. Getting ahead of that smoke in screens.
Now as
the wall expires, MIBR are hoping to take an engagement as a unit towards Heaven. Sen have everything covered, playing those long-range angles with the superior guns. They're looking so strong today. If they can win their map here, they'll be grand finals with that significant map ban advantage going up against whichever team wins the lower final.
Not rushed to reinforce them on the A side. A lot of this util still at their disposal. Delsus maybe had a timing. Opts not to take advantage. Aspas out in front though with the sheriff claims 1. John's about to get busy. Tries to flick. No good. Right click though is right there. Bang and Zekin now have to try and recover, but perfect util from Verno. Set second off kilter. And it's Bang's Bulldog that needs to bark and bite in equal measure now.
Does have a couple of weak players who get easy kills against. One of them was Cortesia.
Shenum gets clear of that paranoia. Bang instrumental for the Sen team so far in their run to playoffs. But Verno will emerge at just the right time. Key twisty there for MIBR, and once again Cortesia trying to get him motivated.
Just waits out the moment.
हल्के में ले लिए शायद रे. अरे वो छोड़ा कहीं को असल को नहीं.
A really fantastic stun in a 1v1 against Zekin in Heaven. The player's backside. You mentioned it. They were left on their lonesome. So much.
उन्हें खुद के स्टन से हुआ क्या? नहीं ना.
Come up in that situation.
No info really for Sen. Just how far into mid had MIBR gone, they just couldn't tell.
Has Cortesia really turned into a
Sentinels का?
MIBR or what though? Every time.
Sentinels भी drift निकाल देना मजा
आता. The guy standing up, screaming, getting out of his chair.
Early play for the B-side orb and insertion by Zekin. He's actually already looking to wrap around them. So MIBR, they're on a timer.
Push.
And they know it. Pushing out over towards his A side now. It's going to be Aspas up front and personal, focusing on Bang. Deals with the controller. Narrate still tucked behind that kiosk, but doesn't really know when to swing. It's on the move. Celsius gets completely caught out. John had no choice but to swing that. Also dinked us. Goes low after that encounter. But Zeko in the Classic is a long way from the action, and Zenom is vastly better armed.
Oh my god, that got a little awkward for a second with the jump up, but overall, a well-paced hit from MIBR. Scaling into the site, they slowed things down, allowed a moment for Aspas to work through both of his cloud bursts, pop out, Engagement against Bang, wrap around elbow, the rest of them flood in. A little bit
nice one, Anshu.
Clean and definitely a look at what their typical 8-hit is going to look like as we go play around the jet that they've got.
True, Lauta.
Lotus की spelling में नहीं आती.
They say
Lotus लिखा.
Why not go away again? Scored 2 times in a row.
Good point. Emma Sen often going up ahead in these first halves. There's Bang with a spray.
Oh, Bang! क्या मारता रही है इसमें?
Stunned up by Artazine, still able to deal with the breach. And there's John. This is looking a lot cleaner for Sentinels now. As Elsa's will be on this angle and sees the barrel first. Still isn't able to win the fight.
Merritt just knows he needs to live here. A good decision from him. He's not trying to take the engagement. Come to him, but it doesn't matter.
Spike. It is loose. John QT studiously watching this push from A main in order to recover.
Let's go.
Inferno just has a free
Bang के भरोसे ही है रे भाई.
Reverse mohawk.
Bang और Zekin.
Can't choose. Shannon at 16. Gun barrel protruding. Zekin cleans him up, and that's it, exiting the round with 3 rifles.
आज किसी की तो जॉब जाने वाली है गाइस. लोटस की स्पेलिंग नहीं आ रही. स्क्रिप्ट लीक हो जा रहा. अच्छी बात है.
Feels like when you watch him sometimes he just has 360 vision. I mean in this moment he just starts off. Listen, in this one it's just a little crazy cosmetic stun. But then on the third he swings. He sees the teleport animation from Cortez. He calls out he's going into the smoke.
पानी पिला रहे बेचारे को.
Spam him down.
Kaplan probably a little frustrated about the encounter there in heaven. Definitely worked against Celsius, even though he had the drop. Cortez behind him now, I'm sure, as we have an even game. And a dimensional drift, of course, that second build really early has still been held back. Maybe now's the time.
Mid नहीं जाते लोग. ये पे Zekin आगरो आके बैठा हुआ है.
On this one, Zekin opts to play forward. He has that gate crash back to get out towards screens and wants to take the engagement and leave.
Oh, buddy, okay.
आसपास को टक्कर दे रहा है कसम से.
For the duelist with a getaway mechanic.
आसपास को जो रुला के बैठा हुआ वो Zekin.
So he did back to screens off the gate crash after having taken that first pick. Shannon there tucked on that corner. Zekin moving up to reclear, so clearly Sentinels have sniffed this out. Can they snuff it out?
Look at Zekin's gate crash, by the way. It's in B main.
Wait, what?
Insane.
Yeah, nothing's out of a mind of its own.
Zekin
Still over an A though is Zekin.
Even चढ़ता चढ़ बोलता.
Cortezio not aware of it. It is faked. I would freak out too. That is a proper jump scare. He shields his nerves. He might go over to A. He's considering it from the shadows here. Doesn't have any other reason really to be here outside of selling stuff. He's going to smoke that heaven side. TP to A. Zekin! Oh, he's not aware! Cortezio gets to appear in his midst and take him down. That was Bang also trying to get some info. Doesn't confirm Shennom's position. And that Armageddon's going to make this painful. Dying seconds of the round. Time to draw for Cortezio. 3 up now for MIBR, and we're even in numbers. It's an Armageddon for screens. This is a scary prospect, and John didn't know where to go. Forward, back, it doesn't matter. Zelsa's down to the Tejo ultimate. And all of a sudden, things have turned awful quick against Sentinels.
एक अल्ट दो की गान मार दिया रे कसम से. अच्छा अल्ट मारा है. कौन था उन्हें? वेरनो.
Working slowly, time is dwindling. At the moment, Bruno doesn't have any more utility to throw down, but that salvo's even just
Zekin भी क्या ही करता था रे, उसको सुनाई भी नहीं दिया.
Next to impossible.
They know. Bang gets his one. That's all it'll be. Hard-fought round, but MIBR post their third here on split. Sentinels get a little bit turned around there. That Armageddon over towards screens was off a perfect timing.
It's also just hilarious in the mid-round. Zekin gets the fake TP to jump scare Cortezio and B main, and then Cortezio goes jump scare for jump scare.
No. I mean, it would have been a jump scare if Zekin knew he was there.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's scary when he pops out and shoots him in the side, and then the rest of the team get in. Verno, fantastic utility after the fact.
I mean, that Omen was nasty work. And potentially Cortezio is far enough away that he doesn't see Zekin on the side. I don't have perfect information about where the Yoru is. Or he does see him there and sticks it anyway because he's got balls of steel. We won't know. Of course, heading to a timeout now. Call here from Sentinels to try and stabilize
Second
things a little bit.
Oman cancel कर देता सोचा उसको देख के
And of course, Second
नहीं करा ने
still is holding on to that first dimensional drift he's developed.
Yeah, they just haven't been in any kind of big retake situation where he's been able to use it. That would primarily be the time. But then as we've seen, you're trying to sync that up with some of your breach utility, Tejo utility when you're getting back in. And it's just not been a scenario.
गलती से वो leak हो गए तो क्या होता guys? तुम ना बोलो.
You're going to be fully investing into this round.
Wall किधर है?
Completely on the line. This is an opportunity
पे बनाया.
for MIBR to really surge into an early lead. This is a round that should be good for two if they can take it.
Mid control ले दे इस बार. Max to max mid control.
And at that,
क्योंकि expect the unexpected.
Just get him one orb. He'll have the rolling thunder to take the site. That's just an ultimate 1-2 to get the round win.
And with that aim control that you can get as attackers,
आसपास के knife है वो मसला खत्म है.
Definitely on the cards to get that ultimate into the right hands.
Bruno's going to get the information for MIBR that no one is actually playing close from Sen. They're going to be weary about that given Zekin was happy to take those close engagements on a prior round, so you have to make sure that you're clearing that out now.
Clear timing for Zekin. Clones himself down ramp side. Shannon is already rather ahead of this, tucked now, just inside A main. Bang seems to have a sense that that's the only part of the area they don't have Shannon decide to activate. For now, he's more than happy just to be inserted while the rest of his team sets up for a hard and fast hit. Aspas with the Blade Storm now. They're going for it, but John spots it out early. Here comes the util flood. John affected by the fault line now, but the salvos come down. It's the rate. What? 2 with the aftershock. Ah, yes. All about that gunplay, folks. A lot of util eliminations here for Sen, but they're still cut down to 3. Seconds patience though pays dividends.
कैसा मारा है breach?
Presence and now Verno doesn't know where to go.
It seems like he's just going to try to double back over to Sentinels had such a read on the situation on the map there, stacking up the 3.
Breach इन्हें कैसा मारा उसको? Narrator.
The hit when it did come in from MIBR resulted in 3 utility kills.
इन्हें भागा तो भी time नहीं रहता था उधर. कितना ही रहता था.
And on the save here.
आधा तो चेक करने में time pass करा देता था.
And you'll notice the red X is there on the map. It's that B side. There's a brilliant aftershock shot through the wooden wall there.
एक बार replay.
Catches MIBR because they're held in place by the Tejo salvo. John's able to get that salvo off while he's being fault lined and being pushed by the jet.
Yeah, what is this on the replay again?
Look at the salvos. Oh, he TP'd into it.
अच्छा दोनों का combo भी
Aspas just slowly glides down into it.
Breach Tejo, pretty good. Pretty good.
I don't know if the Tejo needs to get nerfed. Maybe we can maybe we can stop the nerfs that are coming.
I feel like it depends on the day. You know, it depends who you ask. If you're initiator coded, then maybe not.
But they are trying to replay through the dark cover one way over towards the mains. Like, and again, has had an outrageous number of first kills in this series so far. He had 7 on map 1. Already has like 3 here, 2, 3, something like that. It's pretty nuts,
and
man.
That's the Yoru difference. He can play that loose end and actually challenge the enemy lurker because he has the ability to gate crash out and still be relevant later on in the game. He's got dimensional drift as well. Should there be a need for a retake of B, but there just hasn't been.
No, Cortesia.
Well, that's not fun at all. He's like, I'm out of here. I think I've lost enough face on this B side of the map for now. So now it's mid control that MIBR are looking to take.
फिर से कुड़ा दिया 4v5 खाली टांगा दिखते इसमें से प्लान अच्छा था भाई
Rolling thunder comes in. Aspas first to the side now. There's John who just can't hang in that door. The deck is stacked against him. Zekin's looking for a royal flush here from this high ground.
पीछे एक सामने ही है. Let's go.
What an anchor, man. The guy just can't be shifted. Zekin, okay, shorty action, fair enough. What a round.
Zekin bang. बोलो ना दोनों समान लेवल के pillars of Sentinels.
That thing would have stopped dead.
He is. I mean,
दोनों pillars of
Sentinels.
Sentinels
When I'm watching him on the defense side, there is no one like him in these situations.
एक मारा
This is a guy who came into a
9
place
bullet मेरे
one of the
9 bullet में रंगोली बना तो सुकून से
I don't want to say he replaced him one-to-one. He just brought his own brand of greatness to the Sentinels team. He's a different kind of controller player, and an utterly amazing one.
And 100 Thieves are still reeling from that loss. Now Sen have the lead in the game. Early pop of Util now gets second set up in a very aggressive line.
निकल
Feels
गया
like he's overstayed his welcome.
जॉन क्यूटी कहाँ से खाया रे
Slow down for NIPR initially. That wave of delay coming through from the two initiators on the defensive side, and now with the wall up, they want to try and get back into this space.
अब मारते हैं
now is the time to drone. This is when they could be walking up. He's right. I'm not sure if they got around the corner and saw any of those other players, however.
They know now. They absolutely know now. They know the breach. Teo both here. John, death-defying stunt, gets across a
फिर से rotate करते लोग
slowed down a lot for MIBR.
Cortizara Cortesia
They have that insert of Cortesia to prevent them from being played, so they know that on a huge timer, they've got options.
They have still 45 seconds or so to
क्यों loading भाई
just what they're intending on doing now, going back to the sewers as Cortesia wants to get that control of the night. He's got it alone. Oh, what a first kill for Artson to find.
Uncharacteristic.
To accelerate into the heaven though, and I love this reposition for Bang. If he kills Cortesia here, Sen in a great position.
The Teo Breach are also out on the B side, but as they move, Vitada's in with another one. There's Bang. He's always in such a running spot. And narrate's found two. That should be enough to slow MIBR up and even the odds. Swing. Shen on a sharp.
Zekken निकाल लेता. I trust on Zekken, bro.
And now Zekken at 11 and 3. Cannot convert. Sick round from Shenum. Two crucial kills to even up the game again.
I mean, listen, we give a lot.
My bad. My bad. My bad. I am a jinx.
Cortesia and Inferno is some of the best rookies coming in this year, but Shenum has been the best player for MIBR today. Not even close. He's been the one getting them crucial first kills at times. That kill onto Bang there, mega impact. Bang played that situation so well.
6-6 भी good switch
main, catches out Cortesia. Has the perfect angle to be able to kill Shenum, but he's just so fast.
No, you shall not pass there, Zekken. Oh, the audacity!
Stun late हो गया रे.
Pay off. Ray wants to pick up the angle immediately. Okay. Doesn't work out for him either. Forced away by all that util. Now he realizes there's a lot more than just a couple players here. The whole kit and caboodle for MIBR have been deployed on the B side of the map, and there's Ray dropping down. Not too shabby. Aspas defeated by the high-low setup, and Bang gets in behind them. There's no way Verno's going to be ready for this. Bang has the timing, he has his moment, he has a window, and a bullet with Verno's name on it. Cortesia too low to stand. And now Shenum, star player for this MIBR outfit, has to play
let's go.
Solid gold again.
Oh, just a little wry smile.
Bang ने कर दिया है.
Into B main to just encircle all of MIBR was perfect, and prior to that, Sentinels using their utility to just flood out of heaven, catch the perfect timing window where they're fighting MIBR while they're trying to get out of main before they even have any space.
And make a fool.
This is the kind of map we were hoping for on Gloaters. MIBR and Sen both delivering. MIBR here have been knocked down economically. And Zekken, justifiably, he's got picked up the outlaw now.
अरे count करता हूँ क्या? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He actually feels like he has to go forward. Now he's stuck in the corner. He's being aftershocked.
Damned if he do, damned if he doesn't here. Zelsis had nowhere to go.
John
punishes Aspaso on the charge in. Takes a little bit of damage, but he's happy enough to at least even the odds. Mid control still in place for Sen, and that's a pick on the extremity. Zekken was waiting for Cortesia to lurk up.
I like picking up the scoped weapon to control B main because most rounds it's only pin Cortesia. They're just contact taking it. So
except for the prior one.
6-6 good switch है. अगर ये इसके बाद दो हार भी गए तो चलेगा.
In the early round, I mean, a couple players there's Zelsis
पर मेरे को क्योंकि 8-4 दिख रहा.
Both being punished for it.
Gil मांगे more.
This is just a save round for MIBR. They don't have the weaponry, the resources to actually make something happen.
They know they're walking into this fault line either way. Zekken can turn his attention.
Both spotted. Second brother.
The single player in B main. So they mixed it up in the previous round, but it should be
Phantom लेके भाग
pretty
रहा हूँ.
straightforward stuff from here on out.
Shift करता है एक Phantom.
20 seconds. Bruno gets the right.
Next round एक को भाई देता है. इसके पास कितने पैसे? 2300. फिर utility.
It's just going to clear heaven side of B. Sentinels dotting their I's, crossing their T's. And MIBR have to take another L. This, like you mentioned, was a bit of a save round. Sen though.
2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0.
Gotta find one of the next two at least.
2-0 कर दे मसला.
Coming into this one, they're going to have
G पे
amount of ultimates to play with.
2-0.
One away from a rolling thunder right now.
मारा नहीं.
And they've still got that flightless hit from Shen if they can get into a post-plant situation, but Sen are stopping them from even getting there because they're playing so swiftly.
Timeout,
in the flood
timeout.
situations. That is where they have
Ball's
been finding
back,
the most success.
So a couple of things to look for here from MIBR for the remainder of the half. They've set a condition up now on the B side just to send Cortesia there, and you've seen them try and throw a variation every now and then. A couple rounds ago, it was the whole team. That's when things went wrong for Zekken early. So he picked up an Outlaw just to try and hold against that kind of contact play that walk up. Mid is the weak point for Sentinels right now. Zelsa's not able to get much done in mid, getting hit with that util flood that's frustrating even for the best player. So he has not been able to find a kill yet this game. Basically, a pink ward.
I didn't even notice that. Honestly, I did not even notice that he's sitting on the goose egg right now because it hasn't really felt like it. It hasn't been a detriment.
Listen.
So
He's been a very good sight for Cam so far, but Sen are aware that it might be are now trending away from the extremities. I think that the threat of the Outlaw was too much there, and they're getting ruined by Zekken over at A. So definitely feel like they're going to want to pressure mid, maybe sometimes more towards the mid rounds here. But Sen have been very good on both those sides.
All right, the two just have yet again Cortesia set up to control this B side of the map. Cortesia, by the way, who's just been playing so much Omen as of late, started, we only really saw him on Sentinel, and now he's been playing a ton of controller for this team. And specifically when they have these Viper looks on maps they've been playing very frequently, and he has been
वाले फिर से ये कहीं को अच्छा उसको रोकने के लिए क्या ज़ेकन को पुश कर रहा बोल के.
I mean, Icebox is obviously the best example of this, but split too.
And coming into this series in the playoffs, Cortesia actually has the highest stats.
किधर जाने को ट्राई कर रहे थे ना फाइल का ऐसा.
Really bizarre.
A पे साउंड देके B पे जाते हैं छोटे बच्चों जैसा. जेलसिस भी दिमाग लगा इन्वेस्ट कर दिया, हो गया. इसके बाद क्या ये करने का.
Sometimes I guess.
नहीं आते अब.
A lot of fantastic controls. Som.
That's one way is going to be thrown down by Bang, who has just had absolute control of the B side of the map. It's been a brick wall that MIBR cannot break through.
So again, that conditioning about a light B hold being broken again. This time Bang not quite as aggressive though as Zekken was for that part of the match.
Aja public.
The initiators were a long way away for Sen.
So the gate crash isn't close to B either, so it's not like Zekken can get there quickly. This is a situation where Bang just needs to get out, but he can't. He stays in. And no one can even trade.
He TP'd forward. Trying to get past that and takes Aspas down. And now the momentum's definitely been slowed up. MIBR need to make a way in. Nice little special delivery, and John is dishing it out.
क्या बात है रे.
Plus the aftershock leaves MIBR in absolute bloody shambles with no time left. Verno's been in this position before. Zelsis gets on the board as well. Everything's coming up Millhouse for Sen City.
Flash.
Utility has really been
supplanted. सामने TP करा.
They are getting multi-stunned. All of the damaged abilities are being thrown at them in those moments. Aspas is in on an island.
What was that TP from Bang?
It's a TP of, this is literally the only place I can go.
And
no one is able to try to hunt him. And then 25 seconds they have to get in. John is throwing a stun at them. They're so cooked.
That Armageddon, I've got to say, from John is so important. Once again, it's a fast hit on B for MIBR that just dies to the initiator util.
पिस्टल राउंड में जीत जाती सेंटिनल्स. अटैक में घुस जाता है अपना पट्टा.
It's become fossil fuel. It's been so long.
There is no opportunity for him to even use it because Sen are stuffing them at the choke, getting in, flooding together so effectively.
Cockroach.
Here's the adaptation for Sen. They now just pull out of mid entirely, brings Zelsis back onto the A side. This will allow MIBR to move into heaven, but it's about to get pretty busy there for Sentinels. They re-establish that control. And this is going to bleed the clock further and further.
I was going to say second. He's just pushing all the way out of A, gets all of the information as to the fact that they are for real splitting B, and everyone can stack up to stop them.
Special delivery does force John away.
आसपास में तैयार ही यार आपके ऊपर.
There's only Bang can. The timing of that was pretty bloody good, wasn't it? That slows things down. Cortesio has the TP forward and erases it. I don't think so.
क्या है मेरे लोगों का कैसा मारा नरेटर
who again are back in that world-beating form, or so it seems.
They're making me struggle to remember when MIBR even got 4 rounds on the board because they looked utterly dominant.
एक मारा पलटा इसको मारा फिर इसको हाईलाइट मारा.
Bang is on one.
कीरी रे.
His defensive play is
next level.
Nice boys, let's go.
Just totally different.
God level खेलते रहे ना.
Watching the way he positions
अभी
himself.
मैं तो सच में बोलूँ मैं excited हूँ आसपास का ऑपिंग. अगर डिफेंस में आसपास ऑप निकाला. I wanna watch. Whatever may happen. पर वैसे भी मेरे को जितना मालूम.
We're going to head to a quick break, folks. When we come back, MIBR are running out of chances to get back into this game. Let's see what they've got for us after this.
ये सेंटेंस जीत जाती. स्क्रिप्ट वाले फिर से रिवील कर दे एक बार. स्क्रिप्ट 1 से मैं बता रहा. Puka. आओ ना गले लग जाओ ना. खत्म करो भाई खत्म करो.
Split began looking pretty competitive between these two teams. It was MIBR lose the pistol, win the eco round, and then it's back and forth stuff for a while. We hit round 9 and all of a sudden Sentinels start to break away. Sublime anchoring by Bang and Zekken being all over the map. Main contributors.
And it's putting Sentinels in position now where they're looking to close out Split. Not only steal away the map pick of MIBR, but win their own in dominant fashion. Head on to the grand finals with that map pick ban advantage that we have seen every single time is incredibly valuable to try and win this stage.
Exactly center ये सब कुछ नहीं देखती है. smoke walk से
lad man of the first half. This is no denying it. A gate crash deployed there by Zekken to give a second option to take up in mid. And we'll be clearing slowly towards A. This should be very telling for the attackers.
ये डालता टीपी मारता साइड पे खत्म मसला. इजी. इस भाई के इसके सामने दल्ले के सामने.
They've made sound on the other side of that. There's the gate crash.
अरे क्या रे?
How does he win those?
Bro, Zekken कसम से Zekken थूक लगा के मार रहा.
The best player from MIBR
जो
loses
होता
his nerve at the
सच में
most
थूक लगा के
important
मार
moment.
रहा.
There's Aspas, though, steps up
इसकी
in his way.
बदतमीजी चालू है आसपास की.
With the sheriff, but Sen are crawling over this B side.
Artson has his full kit right now to try and get back into this site.
Seconds low, John stunned up. Here's the aftershock. Second tries to tuck from it, and he can avoid the blasts. 30 seconds. Bang giving it a tap.
30 seconds left.
Plant down, and oh, Zekken! Aspas descends upon him there. Just lands on him, cleans him up, but all of a sudden MIBR are hitting. It's up to Zelsis.
NT रे.
Would have been beautiful.
Zelsis.
But Aspas with 4 kills is
अरे
just
easy
as
round था
aesthetically
जीतने से
pleasing.
कम है.
I mean, you said the best player for MIBR right now goes down like that. Aspas said, "Best time to finally step up in this game."
Easy तो था.
He has really not been on point until this round. That is brutal. These shots from Aspas.
क्या मारा रे आसपास बोल रहा ना आसपास सब डेंजर है अब डिफेंड में
Full screen flick shot on me also.
For his third kill. Why does it matter? Why does it matter how many kills he had before that, Verno? Context is everything, I guess. Well, Aspas hit the top of the scoreboard pretty quickly, didn't he, Wyatt?
Let's see if this is where MIBR can begin to rally back. They have not had control at any point in this series on either map. They have been clawing to get any round win when it can come their way. Even the anti-ecos back on Lotus, they weren't clean either.
That lineup is such nasty work. Makes a lot of space for the attackers to move in through that Viper orb. Zekin's able to overload Cortezia, but he got his. Shenum drops down. No Zekin is tucked in the box, and Aspas will be able to clear him out. It's the same classic that goes to But MIBR bounce back, get that 2 in a row, and close the gap.
Hudson wasn't able to recover a rifle, so a bit of economic damage done there by Sen.
He's
hitting into the bonus with a glass cannon off.
Saw this on Lotus. He was forced into a retake and actually ended up dying with the weapon late in the round. So he wants to control an extremity.
Same smoke is applied, same tactics, same smoke.
Going to be prepared for this in that will they be careful enough? Will they be playing around the potential of an off already?
Fake TP sound deke chale gaya.
There's a chance they probably expected to come up a couple of times in a series against MIBR. It's actually been a bit of a pattern from Aspas in the past.
क्या पोजी लेके बैठा रे बल्ला.
This early? And honestly on split, taking it to mid.
अभी ना साइन दे देंगे खाली वाइपर लर्क कर रहा.
Only Bruno and Shenum that have a bank after this round plays out.
Initially it looked like MIBR would try and play forward, but they give this space. They hear Sentinels coming as they make enough noise to wake the dead. They'll hope that MIBR will join them. Salvos come in, Zekin and bang takes a bunch of damage.
क्या मार रहा रे घुसके मारा. Down to 1 HP. Shenum able to. All right, the headshot. That's a bit of overkill, buddy.
Let's go.
But he finds the trade nonetheless.
John wins out that fight as well without taking any damage. That is so big. Aspas on the glass cannon op has to find a way to put it to use.
Has the blade storm already too, by the way, Shenum.
Bro,
what a standout today.
The spike is off to Shenum's left. This is very dangerous now for Sentinels who have no util to speak of.
30 seconds left.
None.
इन्हें पीक लेता.
Shenum doesn't have
देख अब कैसा मारता है इन्हें.
Easy.
And by the way, they've got an off.
बोला ना.
Discovered that little tragic.
आसपास अलग.
Yep, the other shoe dropped at the worst time for Sen.
John left alone, saving the rifle, doesn't have a single dollar.
Zekin मारने का था रे Shenum को, नहीं मारा उसको.
Shuffling away in his little moccasins.
MIBR, they fully committed economically to this round, and they pull it off.
Paid off well. Aspas actually had full armor, so wasn't quite as risky as we'd expected. And very quickly he's gotten back into the half in a big way. The game has now shrunk to a 1 round difference, and Senna coming into this one.
Oh,
bro is a turret.
NT brother, don't
too hard on himself. He finds that first kill
lose your hopes.
I think Shenum killed at least 1 through the Viper wall. Tough round to win here for Sen. Looks like we might be looking at an even ledger.
They are on an interesting buy right now. John and Zekin, not a lot of cash left, a lot of stingers, and Zekin has been throwing the hero rifle that John saved from that prior one.
Interesting as casters speak for Rancid, folks, in case you were wondering.
Shot.
Zekin, though, with that hero rifle, artfully dispatches of the breach and already was swarming over the site. Sentinels do get in position. Verno trying to challenge, but he ends up taking a clone out. Dangerous. Wayward spray through the smoke, but the traces aren't there.
And now MIBR, they have found themselves again in this, not again, but for the first time in this situation where Aspas has the op on a retake. This is going to be difficult and man disadvantage. Zekin, what a timing! He can't collect onto Verno, but no one from MIBR was in position to swing.
Big damage, Zekin going to be flashed.
Knife लेके घुस गया रे दल्ला.
And takes one for the team. Zekin is down.
पर बहुत को लोग
Bang is very low. It's just the Stinger quartet left for Sentinels now, and Narrate is trying to let those shots ring out across the map.
Oh, and a low HP Bang was just forced out into the open. The clock is getting so low, though. MIBR, they haven't even really scaled into the site yet.
Cortezia down. Verno is very low. This is so dangerous as Aspas tries to get in there. And Narrate's the last one standing. Has Has he done enough for Sentinels?
Let's go. नहीं होता.
It's yes.
So much delay was caused
क्या
there.
हुआ
The
रे?
fight's
क्या
over
हुआ
towards
रे?
ramp that Zekin was
कुछ
taking.
समझ
No
में
one
नहीं आया.
could actually trade onto him. He was just delaying
कुछ
and
भी
drawing
पता चलेगा
attention
रे.
with the flashes. 4 stingers and that one saved rifle get them
पर
over
इन्हें
the
नाइफ
finish
निकाल
line.
के जो मारा ज़ेकन को. कचा
And now
कच
they
कचा
put
कच.
MIBR in a dire economic situation.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
I mean, what a moment over there at ramp. It's like a tsunami of fudge. Another good time. I don't know what I'm looking at. Aspas dives in, Zekins is flashing. Got his one. Here's that dimensional drift.
Has invested into the operator yet again, positioned over towards A, where there are a lot of potential targets coming his way. Zekin doesn't clear out screen. He needs to prioritize backside so they don't know that the operator bangs ready on the line.
And that's the opt-down. Zekin's committed now to the A side, tucked here, waiting for delivery of the spike, which will be forthcoming. Smoke to screens. Sen have this locked down for now.
Wanting to make sure that no one actually calls there. Zekin lets one shot rattle off, doesn't connect. Artsin and John, awkward fight, nothing hitting.
No defensive initiator ultimates available. MIBR have nothing really to flood with outside of Artisan's util.
This dark cover is perilous for Shannon. Celsius is just biding his time, takes the first engagement, just decides to live. He's going to just bide his time.
He's a rat! Emerges out for a split. Celsius gets away with more. He's done so much from here when he was looking to reach even further. That likely will be enough. That operator got recovered.
Sentinels have been putting MIBR in a nightmare situation 2 rounds in a row now while they're trying to retake ramp. They've just layered that area of the map.
Confident तो है रे ला.
Potential
कुछ आ जाता है लेकिन मुझे आता सोचा.
That MIBR have to work through getting back in there. Just the existence of that dark cover is going to cause so much confusion, and I love how Celsius plays that.
कैसा गया? मार लेते इसको. देख
Celsius is ridiculous. I don't think.
हम भी
No, he was partially blinded in that moment. I believe.
He's paranoid.
He's trying to shoot him. I mean, Cortez, you can only laugh it off.
Did he get paranoid by? No. Did he get hit by Cortesia? Is that why he was partially blinded? I think Cortesia hit both Shadow.
We would need another replay. It's
I think he hit both of them.
It's possible.
Oh, if that's true. All right. That is pretty devastating. Frod here, starting to wrinkle the brow in concern. First map wasn't the outing that MIBR were hoping for. A much better start here on Split has all but fizzled out. After a pistol round win conversion there from the Brazilian squad now, once again, Sentinels have been allowed back into the driver's seat, and they're hitting top gear.
They put serious cash MIBR into getting this op into Ospas' hands on a number of rounds, and it just has not actually paid dividends. At this point, they can only afford a rifle when we get back into this. The op is off the table. And frankly, how things have been going, maybe that'll even be to their benefit.
I mean, they're skimpily dressed coming into the round as well. 4 half armors.
Now, back at the beginning of this stage, I remember, I think it might have been literally the first map that MIBR played was Artzin putting up a 536 ACS on Split.
Wasn't he trolling with the judge a bunch that game?
He got a lot of kills with the judge. It was pretty absurd.
It's not been that kind of game.
Mid ले रहे भी नहीं वैसे भी ना mid पे क्या कर रहा है इन्हें? B-man करता है इससे अच्छा B-man या A-man.
That scoreline is so uncharacteristic out of Cortesia. He was like the solo lurking B-side attack player.
He was just in horrific situations on attack. He could never.
Oh, बता. पिघले नहीं आता देखो. मारता देखिए ना.
Bang is patient. King of the off angle. They save Cortesia. Best sit.
Just swings
concentrated
a little wider than Bang expected. He had his crosshair placed for the jiggle peak. It just did not end up working out.
No heaven presence though for MIBR. And oh, buddy. Someone's starting to get a bit more comfortable now.
Celsius just wants to go for the quiet re-clear.
Very quiet, yes. Still picked off.
Walks into the crosshair.
Are we doing this?
निकाल तो सकते हैं लोग.
Shannon here, just enjoying his own brand for most of the round, I suspect.
3v5.
Sentinels are
not a big deal.
Scaling into heaven.
30 seconds.
Looks like Bernard's
निकाल ले
back
सकते
from
रे
the
भाई.
A side there. Aspas will see a
एक
player
को
crossing
B में
if the
इधर
timing's
मार
correct,
तो
but
सेट आते.
Gonna have to hold that position.
Time to jump. Second's going to send in that gate crash backside. Try to get the clone out, try to get a flash. He's going to go in, committed while stunned.
Oh, the double flash is good. Aspas gets away. Verno not quite so lucky. Shorty in hand, but Shorty can handle it himself apparently. Narrate going to sit on an aftershock here as well, which will delay a flood that comes in. But Zekin will be instrumental. He's trying to wrap. He's leaving. Narrate on his own for the time being, and oh, the timing is good. Shenham is down.
Nice one.
Narrate holds his own.
बोला नहीं बोला निकाल लेते बोल के.
Come crumbling down. Not even the ace up the.
बोला नहीं बोला मैं निकाल लेते बोल के.
A beautiful double
swing. Trust on Sentinels, brother.
That was a 5 versus 3 for MIBR. Cortezia locked down B main, got 2 kills to open the round, and then look at the way that Sen dragged things back. With a fantastic...
What is that pathing? The timing from Zekin. The trust in Narrate to hold that side and not go over-aggressive.
It was a fantastic array of utility that they threw into A, just getting that gate crash backside, with Zekin sending out the clone into the flash, teleports in. Second flash to follow it up.
And now Sen are getting some ultimates online. Cortezia, great round the last one. Scales into B main, gets a second kill on Zelsis. This time, though, he will have his hands full.
Dog cover to try to delay. Cortezia is in so much trouble, has to teleport away once he wants to stick around.
Zekin got in the back corner. Cortezia knows it, but now the Rolling Thunder's going to come in. He's going to be forced away. Zekin once more. Cortezia served up like a snack. John will wait in the drop, sees Artazine step out. It's an easy take for the veteran. Will be a trade. Verno gets involved, but Zekin at long range is just too good. He's lightly armored. Straggling squad of MIBR once again are put to the sword. Match points comes up for Sen to get themselves into a grand final. The upper seed.
This Sentinels team are in such unbelievable form that they're making MIBR look like MIBR last year. This is unbelievable. They should not be this. This is.
I just realized what you said.
No, so this is
beautiful, Zach.
Unbelievable,
Zach,
man.
bro, you're so good, bro. I already know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, well, plenty of people in agreement, I'm sure. MIBR again, they've been forcing. Another half armor round with a smattering of rifles, a judge for Cortezia. It feels like the jury's about made their verdict. Oh, we have that too. Dimensional Drift is one away for Zekin. Aspas has to dash forward of that follow line, still affected by it somehow, but the follow-up wasn't quite there, so he will be allowed a way out.
Just has to Cloudburst to try to get away, but now that the stealth gun has cleared everything out, he can comfortably position himself forward. MIBR have been able to maintain getting a lot of full buys.
उसको मार लो तो टीपी नहीं करा बोल के.
Been able to get them over the finish line, even when they found these early advantages. Can Aspas get them another one? He is fighting far forward. He doesn't have a dash.
Guy gets out, sees everything he needs to as well. Multiple Sen players rapidly encroaching on his position. Oh, okay. Great punish with the orb take there. Zekin was wanting to go for more. He got his dimensional drift, just not in the way he would have liked to.
मिड से खुद के झटाझट चल जाना गहर था सीन.
To get some presence over towards heaven, but the time is really dwindling. Aspas is backside. Sure, they get Shenham. Instant trade from Burno. Things are looking good for MIBR right now. Great Armageddon time.
This is going to make you dance, that's for sure. Armageddon in heaven now forces Narrate into drop seas. Cortezia coming, there's no time to pivot across to another
जा
side.
सकता अभी भी.
We're essentially looking at a save now. Narrate with a kill on the way out. Hang about. Thought about it for just a moment. Burno deals with Zelsis. And that'll be all she wrote on round number 20, folks. Sen still poised to take it all. And they keep a lid on that MIBR economy.
उसकी अल्ट आ गई ना.
Aspas able to clean things up. Burno
अल्ट के 3 पॉइंट क्लोज हो
गए. Controlling the map from
पर वेस्ट क्यों करा ये पूरे?
Timing with the Armageddon. MIBR worked themselves into some really good positions over on this A site. After Aspas took that initial
clean मारा रे पूरा. अरे पर बीच आ सकता था शायद ना ये खुद के. 15 सेकंड जा सकता था शायद.
That was nicely done. 4 chances for Sentinels to close out this game and get into the grand finals with that map advantage.
खत्म है इंडस्ट्री.
Drifted. Seconds off and running. Flash now to confused, disoriented Verno. He's forced off that Raptors position, and we convert. We're now on the A side. TP in there from Bang. Sen have it on lock. How does MIBR unravel this now? Piece by piece. First, it's a fault line. John just able to get out of the salvos. It's only a lick of damage.
Nikal gaya cutie.
Just a bit. One kill for Artsin to get the Rolling Thunder, by the way, to get into the site. He can find one of these players maybe that's back screens, but out in the open. John sends out the stun to delay. Aspas has to retreat.
हमारे भाई stun हो गए.
Delivery that stops Aspas from trying to play off that out of screen. Here's Artsin. No, it doesn't matter. These guys are shooters. But Zekin can only find his one.
क्या लगता है guys?
Talk about a bounce back. MIBR. Sharp as tacks.
Its past 2 rounds look like a different team. They are rock solid when it's coming down to these retake situations now on A. Now it looks like they're in their element. Getting out that initial wave of utility from Sentinels. And then
phone करके बोल दो तो
gets that first kill onto Narrate and the awareness. I like now that on A, you can see that
T
they're
for
just ignoring ramp. On those other rounds, they spent way too much time trying to actually get the kill on the player there, force them back, and it just ended up wasting
Brother tense.
But there, Shannon says, okay, have fun standing on the resources, I don't care.
काइडे भाभी को भी नमस्ते प्रणाम क्या मसला फिर खत्म करो बोलो ना इंडिया तुम ना बोल तो दोपहर हो रहा है यार इंडिया में सुबह हो रहा है नींद नाम की चीज़ नहीं है तुम्हारे लिए स्ट्रीम करो तुम मेरे को हाई भी नहीं लिख रहे चैट में आके चैट में आके लिखो.
We talked about Artsin. He needed one more kill for the Rolling Thunder. Obviously now he has that. Blade Storm at the ready for Aspas.
13 level.
Though, of course, they will be forcing.
Okay.
Until they can try and secure some kind of overtime. And that was Zekin and Bang both making use of those ultimates to sort of get into the A-side to circumvent the early trades that they normally have to take to get them there. But now, we're starting to roll into the initiator ultimates. Now close to some of those big tough to lose around if you can have both of those at your fingertips. MIBR have to be extra vigilant.
Yes.
Full investment from Sen leaves them with no one on a heavy armor. Listen to Cam out going up against a lot of
तुम ना है मेरे पास तुम ना मेरे बॉल्स हो सब लोग 75 सब्सक्राइबर्स तुम लोग मेरे बॉल्स हो तुम लोग मुझे छोड़ के जाते हो क्या
Blade Storm pulled straight away from Aspas. No nonsense. He was looking for an early ramp fight here. This time, Sentinels absolutely elsewhere. A slower default start to their attack round.
ये लोग अब बाई करें
on the defense, jiggling for information. Aspas has been trying to control A main off the drone info on a multitude of rounds now, and is pushing so far forward. Wants to take the fight too. Zelsis has forced him into sewer. There's no way he chases into the molly. No, but that will result in a ton of control being gained for MIBR, and Aspas leaving himself inserted.
He has to. All right, Zelsis could just lurk out and be a nuisance today and make use of that Viper Wall. Aspas plays in this position, and eventually, you know, Zelsis will try and reassume this spot. Does he know? Does he suspect? The human tornado is waiting for the gift just for him.
Steals, bro.
Oh my god, this timing. Just as Aspas
balls of steals, Ray.
Makes his way out of steal. Regardless of that, they look at Sen on the map. They're headed towards B. That's what they want to execute. Second is pushed into vents, but has a gate crash to get back to them.
Another timing moment though is Zekin's in between them in heaven.
Don's got the orb to get his Armageddon, but Aspas shuts down the duelists of Sentinels.
Aspas के knife और वो op पे मत जाओ रे.
20 seconds left and they're just getting up mid right now.
Spike is still in the middle part of the map. The kills are coming in though, but now to pivot towards B. The strongest side here from MIBR, and Cortez is going to try and stop them.
Is going to stop them from Artsin.
Narrate hit by it, Bang trying to drop down, Spike is trying to get there, and it's not going to happen. Narrate has it knocked loose and everything falls apart for Sentinels. Bizarre rounds.
क्या से क्या हो गया?
It seems like they could never get their plans online because of MIBR controlling so much.
ये मेरे को highlights दिख रहे कहीं को कि loud के सामने
ऐसे. You had second trying to get through the vent, but Aspas' acute awareness was ready for him to swing. And then by the time Sen decided what to do, they picked the site where the Rolling Thunder was waiting for them with 12 seconds left to get there. It was a wrap at that point. They've got a 5 stinger buy and 2 rounds to close out this game, and we're going to OT.
In the hour of need, it's Aspas standing up here for MIBR. The second half from him has been spectacular.
Oh my god. All of a sudden, MIBR has decided to win.
Verno here now, off the back of that kill, opens up ramp entirely and Sen well, no closer to the win.
इला मिड लेने को ट्राई नहीं कर रहे, वो भी एक गलत चीज है मतलब अल्लाह खेलते उन लोगों को मालूम पर मेरे को इतना नहीं मालूम पर मैं सोच रहा हूँ मिड लिए तो मजा आता मिड वॉल तो T1 में नहीं देगा
across the map as well.
अब 10 नेक्स्ट राउंड के लोग बाई है कि नहीं मालूम है को
retake, better weapons, more util, more numbers. The only potential danger is if Narrate gets, when he gets a spike down, he'll have the rolling thunder. Like, things do get really scrappy. He could rip that, and maybe Sen could win this on an eco round.
I mean, in that sense, a little risky. That it might be gives up the side, but they're worried about a fast hit from the Stingers just cutting their numbers down. So they might allow for a plant. Narrate with the rolling thunder, about to have it online. What do the post-plant spots look like for the attackers here? Ball is now in MIBR's court.
Post-plant खेल रहे लोग हैं?
Narrate's gonna feel like, do I really want to use this now, or do I want to just make sure I have this for the buy round? I like this forward presence from Sen, taking space into spawn.
Great stall. So they've got some safety in CT, but here's about to get hot and heavy. Aspas, trade taken by John, swings out with the stinger, getting low. Riddle with bullets through the box, but it's going to be Bang coming alive. Just he and Narrator left. There might be a use case for the Rolling Thunder after all as Artazine drops. Numbers are even. Verno got it to half, and Narrator's lining it up. He's got to stop this. The defuse for Verno. It's happening.
Oh my God. Long range, somehow the Stinger is getting so much damage off. Good crossfires from Sen.
पहले अल्टी यूज क्यों नहीं कराई ने नरेट
MIBR had one more player going into
यूज कर दे तो चुपचाप अल्टो
perfectly and get the spike diffused.
That's why it seems so risky.
Oh my God, my heart was beating out of my chest there, man.
To give up the side, like against a team that can get a Rolling Thunder online, can get entrenched anchor with those stingers, it feels so scary.
Let's go, Arya par.
And Narrate never used the Rolling Thunder. That's still online. Verno with an Armageddon to play with.
He was able to get that Armageddon ready by finding the kills, getting that spike diffused as well. There's really only going to be the two ultimates at play here, though.
Arya par की लड़ाई अब तो.
That anyone else would be able to get enough kills.
खत्म कर दो मसला. Easy.
Close out this game and get to the grand final. MIBR bring us the OT, winning a string of rounds in a row, coming to life out of absolutely nowhere. Shenum in danger, jiggling for information. He certainly got it.
MIBR giving up the map. They are in full retake mode. That's the mentality by the sounds.
But they are taking control of B main. I do like that decision from the two players here that they had anchoring. So if a split does come in from Sen on that side of the map, they'd be able to control that crucial area.
They're selling a fake.
Though.
They get active at B, at least keep three players interested for now.
Jana, hey, Aspas, Jana.
Chunks of catnip out there and hope for the best.
Aspas is committed in the site right now.
Yep.
Final boss. Find a kill. He just needs to, at very least, he's got to go 1-for-1 here.
He's walking up on this. Shorty pulled out. Only Aspas would go for this kind of play.
Let's go.
Make it work. It's only good for one though. Zelsa's very quickly gets his. Shenum here might just take a timing out of screens. You better believe he's considering it.
Let's go.
Second is waiting for him. Now Sen, in the dying moments of the round, have a big player advantage. It's up to Artazine and Cortesia to salvage.
खत्म कर दो मसला.
And even at that, Bang is flanked behind them.
He'll have a timing.
Let's go, easy. Well played, guys.
Tried to come alive in the second half for this MIBR squad, but now you're asking all too much of the guy, surely.
Easy.
Easy. And the period put on the sentence.
जब तक मैं हूँ Sentinels का lucky charm.
To our grand finals with a map advantage.
Well played, guys. Well played.
Crack and international glory.
This Sentinels that we're seeing on this playoff run has been the best
Thank you, PC.
that we have
Thank you.
seen in
Thank you, भगवान.
so far.
सब लाज
So the win
जिंदा रहे.
over G2
मेरा PC में मर जाता
really
से हवा करते करते बैठा.
against MIBR,
चलो
who
guys.
are one of the best teams in America.
Well played.
Has
Aspas
been
bhai.
consistently one of the best teams
Nice,
in
bro.
America.
Aspas भाई वो nice.
Clearly looking to cut above them today.
चूतड़ में
is
गुजार थे वहाँ पर
nothing
जब मार
short
रहे
of impressive. Zekin was on fire.
Well played, guys.
Both maps,
Well
20
deserved.
plus kills.
Well played,
Bang
well
on
played,
defense
well
for
played.
split was really incredible. John's
Varno
YouTube.
भाई well played. Shit. जाऊँ अरे तो रात को भी आंसर में दिखते रहे गोटे चमक रहे जाऊँ क्या गाइस मैं जा रहा हूँ थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग फ्यूचर में कभी भी देखे तो मैं मान तुम ना देखते रहे बिगेस्ट स्ट्रीमर हो रहे मैं पुट्टे लोग तुम ना क्या सोच रहे थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग मज़ा आया। और क्या बोलो सेंटर तो जीत गया यूजुअल। ऑल थैंक्स टू माय रेड चड्डी। थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू। दीदी पूछते ना किस कलर की चड्डी पहने हो, रेड। थैंक यू, बाय। कल स्ट्रीम देखेंगे, कल CSK वर्सेस RCB, मज़ा आएगा। CSK हार जाएगी ऐसा मत सोचो, मिलने देखा कल धोनी भाई आते हैं। चलो गाइस, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग।